What's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View. Hope everyone is doing very well. Welcome back to Match View Live. And live we are indeed for Manchester United versus Atletico Madrid in, was it the Snapdragon Cup? Kickoff is in, let me just check, let's be specific. It is in 46 minutes time. And it's taking place from the Strawberry Arena in Stockholm in Sweden. Of course, the site, I believe, of Manchester United's Europa League triumph back in 2016. It feels like a lifetime ago, a decade actually. But yes, Manchester United are competing there once again. This time with another trophy on the line. The big one. Yes. The big one. The Snapdragon Cup. I want to make sure I'm being specific with that. It is the Snapdragon Cup. Yes. Let's get this correct. You'll let me know. You'll keep me honest in the chat. But team news is already out, so let's not waste any time getting into it. Let's get the Manchester United starting 11 up and on the screen. It's actually only one change. From the starting 11 last week in that game against Rosenborg in Norway. That one change is that Joshua Zirkzee is out and Ahmad is in. So we've got a little bit of a rejigging, if you will, of the front four there. So let's start with the goalkeeper first. In goal, it is Tom Heaton, which is interesting. Actually, that's two changes then. Didn't Vitek start the last one? Wasn't it? I was looking, you know what it is, yeah? I want to make sure, before I went live, I went, you know what, I'm going to make sure that I double check this, you know what I mean? And you have the whole, like, you get the whole, it comes, something pops up, one change a piece or something. I was actually listening to the feed. I was listening to the feed came through. The feed came through. It's two, isn't it? Because Heaton didn't start the last game. I'm sure that was Vitek. Anyway, whatever. But Tom Heaton is starting in goal for Manchester United today. The back four is as is. We've obviously seen that back four throughout preseason so far because we have had quite a few senior players. Senior as in they've played in the first team. You know, if you would describe maybe Aiden Heaven and Lenny Yoro as senior, but you get my points. Senior players in the back four. So that's that Luke Shaw, Aiden Heaven, and Harry Maguire as your centre backs, and Lenny Yoro, who's actually done quite well at right back, in fairness. So Lenny Yoro's in. As people filing into the chat as well. If you're just coming in, that is the Manchester United starting 11. Click the like button and be sure to subscribe. Big up, Ian. I see you in the chat. Says, what's the XPSP expected pretty set plays today, Owen? I love it. Yes, yes, I like it. They're pretty petty. Remember, they're the pretty petty set pieces. I'm going to go with two. Two pretty set pieces today, Ian, and I know you'll keep me honest. Good to see you as always. Yeah, so it's that back four, which has done quite well so far in preseason. I have seen some of the concerns, some of the worries about the kind of, maybe we don't need to buy a fullback because Lenny Yoro is doing all right in preseason at fullback. And I think that worry is kind of valid because sometimes we do that to ourselves, don't we? We do that with the player X does well in preseason. We don't even need to recruit for that position. And it's like, we definitely still do. So whilst Yoro has done well in some of these games in preseason, or certainly the last game he did well in the game against Rosenborg, didn't he, at right back? That's still not for me that's not a position to recruit for in the future. Maybe just another string to his bow, as it were. Midfield, we've got Andrey Santos and Mason Mount. Santos, of course, after a bit much I felt was made of that first game against Wrexham. I saw, bless him, Saeed, who does anyone actually know what the latest is with Saeed and his channel and stuff like that? Because I mean, I wish I had more time to keep abreast of what other creators are doing, but you know, when you're involved in your own channels, you get quite busy. So I saw the thing with Saeed, like the call in. I mean, I saw that, and then I saw that I think did he do a video saying they're trying to get, it's like someone tried to like cancel or get his channel taken down or something like that, I think. But that's the latest I haven't seen it. So if anyone knows any update, yeah, let us know in the chat. But I mean, absolutely horrible. Like I said at the time when we covered it we mentioned it on the morning show the other day. That's why people sometimes can give us a little bit of shit for when we do the full-time view. You have the same people on, or it's only members. That's why, because you can't be too safe. And the people trying to get people's channels taken down, it's it's people's livelihood. It's their job. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch. Like any other thing in life, isn't it? If you don't like it, you don't have to participate in most things. So yeah, very, very, very odd. But hopefully he's finding his channels. Someone say he's live soon for the match. Okay, good. Don't like to see a fellow creator have anything like that happen. So yes, going back to that, Andrey Santos. Andrey Santos, of course. After that Wrexham game, I think people were going a bit too much on it. Like I said, Said was doing the Santos masterclass, and it was like, whatever. Like you didn't really see much of him. But in the last game against Rosenborg, saw a lot more of him. He was really unfortunate not to get that assist for when Patrick Dorgu hit the post. Really good pass through, and that was, we heard some of those statistics, didn't we? We heard some of those statistics about was it line breaking passes, and he was in the top percentile for that, despite having not so many minutes. You take all of those statistics with a pinch of salt, don't you? But hopefully we see more of him, get more on the ball today. Mason Mount, I won't say too much. I'm not going to go the fleck, the darkness is behind him or anything like that. Side note, the darkness. Do they still believe in a thing called love? And I don't even know what the official name of the Darkness's Christmas song was. Someone actually let me know, but one of the best Christmas songs ever. But we will see. I'll be the judge of that if the darkness is truly behind Mason Mount. Like a new signing, etc., etc. Let's stay fit first, and then we can have conversations. But I'm still not sure they're going to be conversations that maybe Mason Mount would probably like. But like I said the other day about Rashford and other players, we have this conversation most summers, don't we, of there are people that, of course, if we were in charge, if we could control the transfer process, or we lived in an ideal world, we would move certain players on. Unfortunately, we're not in control of that process. We don't live in an ideal world, and you kind of have to sometimes accept things and still go, right, as I meant, if they're still a Man United player and they put on the shirt, they cross the white line, you back them on a match day. You can put your feelings aside, and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see what happens with Mason Mount this season and his fitness record. I'm not sure it's going to change too much. Ahmad is back in, of course, after coming back from the World Cup. His comeback was a little bit delayed after his exploits with the Ivory Coast, where he did, or Cote d'Ivoire, shall I say, and did well at the World Cup. Did well. Obviously, was he benched for a game, came on, scored the goal, and I'm really, it's going to be difficult to judge in a pre-season fixture, but just more into this season, I think there are going to be quite a few, a lot of eyeballs on Ahmad this season. There was, I would say, criticism. I would say criticism in the sense that there was a lot of, look, you played well last season. We had a terrible season, finished 15th. You were one of our shining lights, bright lights, and you in many a game sort of dragged us over the line, and we didn't win many games, but when we did, you were a big part of it. But then this past season, let's be honest, he just never really kind of showed up, did he? People can point to, well, it was after AFCON, but would even argue before AFCON, wasn't really doing all much of substance. I think was getting some bad habits creeping into his game. He's doing the, ironically enough, Marcus Rashford sort of, when they cut in and cut in and cut in and cut in, and you go, no. Eventually you're going to pass or shoot. I'm sure of it. Cut in, and then they just end up down the alleyway and lose the ball. A bit too much of that. But like I said, in the World Cup, we saw more glimpses of the Ahmad that we saw the season prior. And he's hoping he can get the bit between his teeth again. We're going to be playing a lot more competitions, a lot more games this season. We're going from 40 to 60 plus, and we're going to need him. And we're going to need him at his best. And we're going to need him in big games, not only as a starter, but also as a substitute. This is really going to be the season, isn't it? Right? This is going to be the season that, and this is why I'm talking about still getting players through the door, and we need players of needing that squad, needing that bench. I mentioned, and we have seen it actually go into football now. But I think it was who was the coach in rugby? Eddie. Is it Jones? Is that his name? Is the former England rugby coach? And, had the phrase, they're not a starter, they're a finisher. Arteta used the same kind of thing, didn't he? He's not a starter, he's a finisher. And I know people can say, oh, woke nonsense, right? Utter woke nonsense. You're a substitute and you want to start every single game, da-da-da-da-da. But as the fixture lists increase, as the game time increases, you are going to have to rotate, and you are going to have to need people to come on and change the game. So with Amad, whether he's starting, because obviously there is that discussion of, well, if you've got Šeško starting up front, and if we get another striker this summer, how often is Amad going to be starting every single game? Doesn't need to start every single game. We do that a lot with transfers too. What will this mean for this player? It will mean nothing for them. They'll have to train well and try and get into the team. And there's a lot of games to play. You can't play every single game. But specifically on Amad, didn't have the best season last season, so hopefully he can get back to his best. In the 10, we assume, I say we assume because you never know, but you would assume there's a lot of, was that 4 left footers in that front 4 right there, I think, right? I mean, I'm just trying to, unless, because Dorgu obviously is left footed, and Mbeumo, I'm pretty sure, is left footed. Amad's left footed because it's cut inside, and Lacey's on the left foot, isn't he, as well? that is a rarity, isn't it? My word. So Lacey, but obviously Shea Lacey did really well in the last preseason fixture against Rosenborg. Fabrizio Owen. Rid is saying Fabrizio Owen. Let me have a look. That is an interesting one. Didn't expect to see that. That's kind of come out of nowhere. Let's see if I can get this up on the screen for you guys. Let me. That with the what you call it and the thingy. See, this is like using this software with the new setup that I've got. Speaking of which, I'll probably in the second half, I might have a or actually in the game, I might do a bit of might stand up. Right, share this one instead, and let's go to here. There you go. So Fabrizio Romano is posting that Everton are interested in Man United's talented striker Ethan Wheatley. Everton are preparing a proposal to make formal approach with Man United soon for the 20-year-old forward. That is random, isn't it? That's a bit of a random one, isn't it? I mean, look, money talks. I think I'm not going to do the I think it would be really interesting to see what money we're talking about here, because, well, I know for a fact, if Manchester United was going after a young striker from a Premier League club, can you imagine? could you imagine the prices that would be quoted? Granted, maybe a bit of a different situation, but if Everton want to put a decent bid in, I'm to be honest with you, I'm half surprised that it's a Prem club. I really did kind of expect that if someone like Ethan Wheatley would go, he might go back out on loan, or if we sell him, we might sell him to like a Championship League One team. But if a Prem club comes calling, and Prem clubs have money, hey, let's have a look. Now, actually, let me have a look. Maybe this is where I need to go to Scout GPT again. What are the rules now? When it comes to PSR, so PSR isn't a thing anymore from this season. So what is the rules when it comes to selling homegrown players and the benefit of that? What happens now? Because the big thing before was selling the academy players because from accounting purposes it was pure profit and that was good for PSR. Is that still the same under the new rules? I would assume so. Maybe. Because that was one of the criticisms, wasn't it? That was one of the criticisms of PSR, is that you were basically being encouraged to sell players that the academy players, which you feel would go against English football and the academy system. So I don't know, but hey, money talks. Let's see. Let's see. I'm not against it. I'm not against that at all. If he goes there, And if Everton see something in him, that's why you put things like buyback clauses in there. That's why you put on Salon clauses in there. The irony is with the Salon clause about, and unless I'm mistaken here, which if I am, I'm sure someone will correct me, but the irony with the Salon clause for Garnacho, didn't we end up getting, we will end up getting nothing for that, right? We will end up getting nothing from Garnacho going to Aston Villa, because wasn't it based on profit? And we were like, oh, wow, they'll probably sell him for 40, because it was like 40 million we sold him for, whatever it was in the end. And we were like, wow, look, it's a shit fee, but we'll end up getting more than when they sell him eventually, it'll be for 40. And I think isn't like the mandatory thing like 40? Like, like we're basically gonna get nothing. We get nothing. Oh my word. And like, talk about it's a Taylor's oldest time. I know I'm not going to break into song, but it is really a Taylor's oldest time when it comes to sort of young players coming through academies and getting into the first team at a young age at a big team. Just like, yes, back yourself. Yes, of course, don't allow yourself to be pushed around, and stand up for yourself. And if you feel like the club is sort of not treating you right, then leave. But you've also got to balance that with a bit of humility, and balance that with a bit of groundedness. Because look at Garnacho in the space of a couple of years. And look, maybe he might have a good season with Villa this season, but even if he does, no one's going to be doing the whole, oh yeah, he's back. You know, no one's gonna do that. Even so, we got some even more breaking news. This always happens when I'm live on a match day as well. Always on a match day. It's almost like people know to put things on a match day, because many people are searching for Manchester United, the algorithm and all that. Right, let's go back to what we had on the screen a second ago, because Sully's just posted this saying Manchester United have planned talks with Newcastle to explore the possibility of Lewis Hall. Now, contact with his camp has already taken place. 21-year-old admired at all levels internally and clear number one left-back target. United acknowledge it's a difficult deal to do. This Lewis Hall one is getting very interesting now, isn't it? This Lewis Hall one is very, very interesting, because whenever stuff like this under this new recruitment regime comes out, as we have seen multiple times this summer and last, when this stuff comes out, it's because Man United want it to come out, right? When that stuff was coming out about Mateus Fernandes, and during that whole race, we tried to leverage the shit out of it, didn't we? Let's be honest. We kept trying to leverage that. We kept trying to do the whole, you know, we're not willing to pay, or only if they want to come to Man United. Look, we didn't win that one. You know, we walked away. Still think it was the right deal to do. But as I mentioned many a time, in that Mateus Fernandes one, we played poker and lost, right? And then we saw on these other deals that we did do, like Andrey Santos, like Yuri Tielemans, it was a lot quieter, wasn't it? A lot quieter, because they realized they didn't need to play poker publicly on that one. The fact that now, over what, the last 24, 48, 72 hours, they've now started to put out some of these things publicly of like, oh yeah, we are interested in Lewis Hall. And actually, well, you know, it's a difficult one to do, but we're interested. Around the same time as, you know, Eddie Howe's just now left. And they share the same agent, by the way. I really recommend to see people to go and check out what Matty Ritten was saying, terrible accent, last night in the video that Flex did, where he was sort of saying that actually, on the outside looking in, I think a lot of people do look at Newcastle and go, oh, they're selling Tonali and they're selling Bruno Guimaraes and they've sold Anthony Gordon, and oh my goodness me, look at this is mad. But he was kind of saying that actually a lot of the fans, as much as you would think that it's kind of owners cashing in because they're going to sell, he reckons it's it's actually the beginning of a project, a new rebuild. But that's why he was saying that the Lewis Hall one would maybe hurt the most out of all of the players they've actually moved on, because he's only 21. He's whoever gets him or has him, that's the left back for the next decade. He should have ended up going to the World Cup. Whilst Jed Spence did do very well, he still should have gone to the World Cup. So, the question now is just with Newcastle, when is enough going to be enough in terms of exits? Because there's a lot going on there. They've already raised, I think, Matty was saying, was it 300 million from sales, I think, this summer? And the Gimaresh one, I don't think's even happened yet. So, and we don't even know if Arsenal are going to put a bid in. I think they're probably a bit busier with the Vinny Jr. stuff because that's come back up again. Because I'd say the next 7 days in terms of this Premier League transfers, maybe not so much involving United because of the scale of this Vinny one, but that Vinny Jr. saga is coming to a conclusion in the next week, and it is going to be absolutely fascinating because obviously Ornstein came out and said that Arsenal were exploring it, and it was like, oh, he's got a year left on the deal. That's why. And then very quickly gets kind of poo-pooed. No, not going to happen. He's not leaving. It's not going to be a thing. No, it's just not. It's not going to happen. And then yesterday, it was reports coming out of Spain, and you hear a lot of this all the time, don't you, from reports coming out of Spain, so you never know. But reports out of Spain sort of said that, no, it's kind of like ultimatum time of Vinny going to Real Madrid, maybe with personal terms already agreed, because there was that Hand of Arsenal account, I think they're called, which reputation took a big hit with the Morgan Rogers stuff, but then throughout the season last season, clearly is close to the players somehow, some way. We're saying that Arsenal are basically agreed personal terms with Vinny Jr. and Vinny's going to take the offer and go to Real and say sort of, match it or let's sort something out. And if Real Madrid say no, could end up going to Arsenal. So that could conclude in the next 7 days. So we'll see with that. We'll see what happens with that. I think that's just fascinating, just because I was talking to Flex about this. Yeah, I was talking to Flex about this, and this is really off the Man United stuff. So apologies. And I know it's like when you can get a player that good, you get them and you put them in the team and you sort of figure it out because the players like that, they're just that good. But is that like Vinny to Arsenal? Is that a situation where like Mikel Arteta likes the collective unit? So it's about the team and about working hard. Is there room for that kind of expressive maverick kind of player in the way that Mikel Arteta plays, maybe? Or is it kind of a bit more like the Pep route, which kind of Pep did a lot in, obviously throughout his success, where he would get those flair players, and he would kind of like refine them. But and some would say to the detriment of the player, but not so much in terms of success, right? You'd see these flair players go into Pep's system and then he'd make them quite rigid, but it would work. It would work. So I wonder just if that did happen, what that would look like, out of just fascination. But there's still quite a lot of steps maybe to happen. So we shall see. If you are just tuning in, that is the Manchester United starting 11 for the game against Atletico Madrid in Sweden. What's the time? So kickoff is in 23 minutes time. In terms of the bench, because I didn't mention the subs, Bayern Dia, of course, has just come back from the World Cup. We've got me, Vitek, who I surely he's going to end up leaving this summer on a permanent. He's too good to. I mean, maybe he goes out on loan again, but we've got in Senna Lommans a very young, established number one goalkeeper. So I don't know. I think he, after the season he had at Bristol last season, for the sake of his career and for a goalkeeper, you just have to, if you can find somewhere that you've got the number one position, you stay there, because it's tough. It is tough to break. It's tough to break in general, but it's really tough for a goalkeeper to break through, because if you're settled with the person you've got between the sticks, you don't really tend to change too much, do you? And he's too good to be sitting on the bench. So surely he's going to end up going. Harry Amass, after his exploits, and of course after a week where he was in the news a little bit, wasn't he? I say he, but more so about his future, with those reports about maybe Manchester United possibly selling him for £6 million, but he does have a year left on his contract. So I'm sure we'll probably see him second half. It'll be interesting to see, too, if Carrick does stick with what he did last week. Last week, he did the 60 minutes for the starters, and then the youngsters came on for the last half hour or so. Sometimes it's 45 apiece, but considering he's only made like 1 or 2 changes to that starting 11, maybe we expect the same. But this is also, it must be framed as well. This is also, the biggest test, the most difficult test, if you will, of preseason so far. I mean, again, there's different kind of tests, isn't there? Right? Because Wrexham in your first game is a test in the sense of a championship team is further ahead in their preseason training. They're a week or so, a couple of weeks ahead. So in our first game, they're expected to maybe be sharper. Rosenborg last week, you've got a team literally in the middle of the season playing. So they're going to be sharp. So you're testing yourself. Atletico, they're a week or two, behind us, aren't they? So I know they've played one preseason fixture, I think, against Getafe. I think they won 4-1. And they still do have Flex got the team that was playing last time. Let me see if right. So in terms of names that you may recognize from the Atleti lineup, actually, let me just go onto their Twitter. I'll get that Atletico Madrid because they still got players the likes of Koke still playing. Oblak, it's been there since. I was shocked to see how young Oblak is. I think it was in the preview. I genuinely thought he was like mid to late 30s. To find out he's like, was it 31? I was stunned. I was really surprised. I was like, wow. Because he's just been around forever. And I guess that, again, going back to goalkeepers, that's the beauty of if you can break in or if you can get number one spot in a team, then you're laughing. That's like, again, with us with Lommans. He might be in a similar situation. Fingers crossed. Where is their like starting 11 graphic? Do they just not put one out? What the hell? So they're playing in their new home kit, actually. No, they haven't put one out there on that account. Let's have a look again. Atletico Madrid, Twitter, English. Try that one. But yes, if you are just tuning in, it's about 19 minutes to go until maybe that's why. 19 minutes to go until kickoff in Sweden. Is this going to say the actual starting 11? Maybe. No. Apparently, Atletico Madrid, they just don't really tend to ask the squad list. I'll put the squad list up on the screen. Maybe that's. Surely there would be like a starting 11 graphic. You would think, oh, here it is. It's the most not. The reason I skipped past it is because it's the most like nondescript graphic you've ever seen in your life. I was not expecting that. Think about how Man United's their graphics and all that is like set up, and you get like a big thing or whatever. This is how Atletico Madrid, in the most Simeone way possible. This is their starting 11 graphic. There isn't one. They just sort of type it out. And actually, you know what I kind of rate? I kind of rate it by position. I kind of rate it, actually. As much as I was skipping past it, because I was scrolling through, I was thinking there must be some kind of graphic. There wasn't, but still. Know what you mean? So that is their starting 11 today. It's so you still got the big names in there, the likes of Lookman, Koke, Lee Normand, and Oblak in goal. And of course, it will be Diego Simeone with his shall we say antics. I mean, you even saw it. He was at the World Cup, wasn't he? We even saw obviously he wasn't doing his usual stuff on the touchline, but he was still doing his Simeone craziness. I wonder what he'll be like in a preseason. I'm just trying to cast my mind back because we played Atletico in Eric's first preseason, and again I think that was the last game, and I remember we lost because I remember doing that game with Flex at the time. And I just try to remember if he was still going crazy on the touchline. He probably will, right? He probably will. This is an interesting one. Whether or not it's true, that's the other thing. But report coming out of he's a specific Celta Vigo reporter, because I just see United's reporter putting this out now. So it's a specific Celta Vigo report. It's a report in Spain saying that Celta Vigo have reached an agreement with Manchester United to sign Altay Bayındır on loan. On loan. Now, how can it be, ladies and gentlemen, how can it be that we can't even sell Bayındır? We can only loan him. I mean, I can take some of the excuses with the other ones. It's different, like Mason, like I said, the Mason Mountain one. You go, look, it's difficult, it's tough, big wages. What are we going to do? I mean, why can't he just go? Why can't he just go? I swear, I was half expecting it, honestly, to be a report that he was going back to some kind of Turkish side, because we've heard probably around 500 million posts saying that he's agreed a move to some form of Turkish side, whether it's it's like he's going to Fenerbahce. He's not going to Fenerbahce. He's going to Besiktas. He's not going to Besiktas. He's going to, I don't know, somewhere else. Then, you know what I mean? Every week. So that would mean we would have 2 goalkeepers out on loan. Those our 2 senior centre backs, our 2 senior goalkeepers going into last season prior to signing Zeno Lomans, thank God, are still technically under contract at the club. Because again, can't sell Andrey Santos. We have to loan him out. But even again, the Onana one, I can half get. I can half get that one. I can understand that one. Again, difficult wages. It's just wages gone back up because we qualified for Champions League. Shit. Bayındır. Oh, I mean, we'll see. Like I said, the only thing I will say about that is, Boy Who Cried Wolf and all that. I'm sure I have seen about 10 million or 500 million, whatever number I used a minute ago, 500 million posts across the time that Bayındır has been at Manchester United, saying that he's leaving or going somewhere. Most of the time it's Turkey, on some kind of loan or some kind of, or some kind of transfer. So we'll see. So actually, what is the goalkeeping hierarchy now then? So Lomans is the number 1. Who is the number 2? I mean, if you're going just based on quality, then you would go like, wow, you'd have obviously like Vitek as your number 2, but he won't be because he'll go this summer. So really, you're going Lomans in goal, and your number 2's Darlow, and then your number 3 is Heaton. Fucking hell, Lomans, nothing can happen to you, mate. Good grief. Because number 2 goalkeeper's tough. It's a tough position. Because there's many a different philosophy when it comes to the number 2 goalkeeper. I'm of the mindset that your goalkeeper's your goalkeeper. If you don't need to change them, you shouldn't have to change them. But I also don't think that kind of mindset means you shouldn't have a good backup. You should always have a good backup. Always have a strong backup. Now, some are like, well, I want my backup to basically be near enough close to my number 1, and then he can just slot in at any time because of injury or because of cups. He'll play in the cups. I don't mind that approach. I don't mind it, but I'm always just sort of like, well, you always try and play the best player. With a goalkeeper, it's not as physically a taxing position as an outfield player, even though you're still taxed in different ways. So yeah, the 3 goalkeepers for the season: Lomans, Darlow, and Heaton. Like I said, just hope that nothing happens to Lomans. And also, again, this is why I'm just a bit I'm always, again, I think you should have a strong number two. It's just, mistake happens, drop off in form happens. You always need to be pushed, I think. Even if you do have a clear number one, it is always good to, again, be pushed and have people nipping at your feet. Any goalkeeper can go through a confidence crisis or a loss of form. Lomans is like any goalkeeper, got a mistake in him. Not as many as Onana, but he has got a mistake in him. We saw that at the World Cup, and we saw that last season too. I would just, no disrespect to Darlow, but I would just hate to have a scenario where something happens to Lomans or he goes off form a little bit, and then Manchester United have to turn to Darlow. And it's like, again, no disrespect to him, but it's like, starting games for Manchester United. We were spoilt for a lot of years, weren't we? We were spoilt for a lot of years when we had De Gea and Romero. We were very, very spoilt in that regard. I mean, I remember back in the day, even during the Van der Sar years, I remember when Thomas Kuszczak used to come in, and he was all right. It wasn't too bad. What other backups have we had? A mad time where our backup goalkeeper was Victor Valdez. Like, one of the most successful goalkeepers ever. He was the backup goalkeeper, although I think he'd just come back from being out injured for ages, hadn't he? And then he fell out with Louis van Gaal. But yeah, that's an interesting one. We'll wait and see. Like I said, with Bayern Deer, there have been many false dawns with him possibly leaving. So time will tell. Super Art says, no one loses form from one mistake. If anything, it makes you stronger. I'm not saying the mistake can make you lose form, but again, you can make mistakes and that can lead to others, which can make you lose form. It doesn't even make you a bad goalkeeper. Half the job of being a goalkeeper is up here. And if you lose a bit of confidence because you make an error or whatever, you never know. You never know what's going to happen. Is the Man United should be weary of anything possibly happening, because it would just, you'd hate to find yourselves in a situation where, again, no disrespect to Darlow, but we're looking at him going, oh, it's all right. We've got Carl Darlow in goal. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, thankfully, Lomans last season, he was, like I said, was obviously one of our players of the season. Did really, really well. Young guy, came back to training early as well. He's already back in training. He cut his holiday early, back in training, and pretty durable too. So I think we'll be all right. I think we'll be okay. Touch wood. I'm not going to go to bed, but I'm not going to go darkness is behind him. There's no darkness to begin with. We got over 1,000 people watching. We are 9 minutes away from kickoff. If you haven't already, click the like button. See if we can get up to 500 likes before kickoff. Just a couple of names on the bench there. We've got both the Fletchers. We've got Camerson. We've got Thwaites. We've got JJ Gabriel. Is today the day that he's going to get onto the pitch? There was an air of disappointment, wasn't there, that we didn't get a cameo from him last week. Maybe today will be the day. And Joshua Zirkzee. And I tell you what, when the first thing I thought when I saw that starting 11 is I was like, wow, maybe there really is something to those Zirkzee to Juventus or Zirkzee back to Italy reports. I mean, a bit like with the Bayern Deer one, I feel like every transfer window comes with a Joshua Zirkzee is going back to Italy report, some form of Italian club, whether it's Napoli, Juventus, Inter, AC. They've all been, Roma. They've all been linked with him, haven't they? So you do sort of go, oof. But looking at that team and knowing how well he played last week as well, that's the other part of it. It's not as if, wow, he's had a bit of a stinker. Last week, he was really, really good. His goal he scored was absolutely fantastic. He played in that kind of 10 position, sometimes in the false 9, but in that 10 position, linked up the play really well, really smooth, looked really sharp. Now, does him not starting this game mean automatically he's leaving? Of course not, but it follows a pattern that we saw last season under Carrick, which was, if he doesn't have to, then he probably won't play Joshua Zirkzee. But as I've said, in the season where we've got much more games, I do think there maybe is this kind of weighing up process at the moment of kind of still got a small squad as it is. We're going to need players. Yeah, but is he going to get into your starting 11? No, but I will be rotating. And, well, maybe. And are we close to bringing someone in? Well, we're still doing the whole midfield thing at the moment. Well, then we'll wait. So, but that's not great for Joshua Zirkzee. So, yeah, it's a bit rough on him. But at the same time, Carrick could have easily put him in there instead of Shea Lacey. And Lacey's getting a great opportunity today again to start for Manchester United in pre-season. And he's looked really, really sharp, as Flex and myself have mentioned many a time. He's that kind of player that when he gets on the ball, if you're in the stadium, you start hearing the sound of everybody collectively standing up, and he gets people up on their feet. So hopefully he can do more of that again today. King of the Indie says Darlow played 22 games last season in the Prem, 1,980 minutes, and was good. Talking about him like that is pretty weird. Did I say Carl Darlow was bad? Didn't say he was a bad goalkeeper, but we're talking about here the number one or playing in goal for Manchester United. It is the most pressurized position, or one of the most pressurized positions in the Premier League, in world football. And we have seen many a time backups who are perfectly fine goalkeepers and perfectly good goalkeepers have to come in for a game or two. They then realize the weight of that shirt and they struggle with it. Look at someone like Dubravka. Remember Marcel? Dubravka. I've seen Dubravka over the last couple of years do all right in the Prem, whether that was playing for like Burnley or Newcastle. And everyone's like, Dubravka's good. We saw him at United. Heavy shirt. Well, we go throughout history, don't we? We go throughout history of good goalkeepers that come to United, whether it's the first team or whether it's the backup. It's different. It's different. And that's more my worry. It's certainly not a shot at Carl Darlow or anything like that. It's more just, if your backup, I would rather the backup be like an experienced person who maybe is at the tail end of their career, who has been there, seen there, and done it. Not like Tom Heaton, but you get my point of just someone that is a bit more seen it and done it maybe than Carl Darlow. But hey, we'll see. Maybe it'll be a complete non-starter anyway, because he will be a non-starter. So. We shall see. Right, let me make sure I've got everything set up as needs to be. This here, and I'll make sure that I've got my match as the players are currently in the tunnel right now. Make sure I've got my sound on. There we go. If you haven't already, click the like button. We got close to 1,300 people watching, which is fantastic, as we await for Manchester United's third pre-season fixture. So far, a 1-0 loss against Wrexham and a 5-0 win against Rosenborg. As we mentioned, as I always say with pre-season, you can take from it what you will. It is about fitness. It is about getting back up to speed, shaking off some cobwebs, getting rid of the rustiness. But it's not as if the results don't count for anything. You always want to win a game of football. And if you get played off the park, certainly there is something to read into. So there's bits and pieces to read into, but not the whole amount to read into. Preseason, it depends what kind of side you sit on, because there will be some that you will lose a preseason match and they'll go crazy. But if you win it, it's only preseason, so it doesn't matter. And then conversely, you will have some that will, if we win a match in preseason, will go crazy, we're going to win everything. But then if we lose, it's only preseason, so it doesn't matter. So it's about balance. It's about not getting carried away. As the players now do the handshakes pre-match. As United wearing the blue away kit for the second consecutive match today. For those, by the way, that were asking, because I did see a couple of people mention this in the chat, I will also be doing a SummerSlam watch-along on OM Wrestling News 365. It starts at 11 o'clock tonight, so I'll be live 15 minutes before that, so like 10:45. That's, of course, both nights, not just tonight, but also tomorrow. So if you haven't already, you can go over to the channel. The streams for that are already up. As I think pre-match photos taking place. Now, I wonder with this again, just what the atmosphere is going to be like. And the reason I bring that up, is because in the last game against Rosenborg in Norway, I mean, there was there was so many empty seats, wasn't there? And it was like a library, it was like a library, wasn't it? It was unbelievably quiet. But then I did see a lot of people going, look, shit's expensive now. It's a World Cup summer. Not all the best players are maybe going to be there. The prices are completely out of control because these are the same stadiums they've run, like that Norway one. They ran it a couple of years ago, and I think it was sold out, right? So, it says a lot, doesn't it? Can't just show up and expect people to show up as well. You've got to make it affordable, and just see some of the fans getting into the stadium as the Atletico team, their pre-match. Yeah, I can see that. Look at all the empty seats. As we're at 250 likes, if you haven't already, click the like button. And I say sometimes that's a lot of the discussion is about like these preseason, because this is the thing with these preseason fixtures. For a lot of different parts of the world, this is legitimately the only time, maybe in their whole lifetime, but certainly one time a year that they'll be able to go and watch Manchester United play live. You don't be priced out of it, do you? That was part of the problem with the World Cup, wasn't it? I remember the whole time of, with the World Cup coming to your country or a major event coming to your country, you should be able to go and afford it, but they get priced out. We are off at the Strawberry Arena. It is Manchester United versus Atletico de Madrid. And it's going to be the first of 2 games we play in Sweden. Our next game against Paris Saint-Germain in Gothenburg. That's in 7 days' time. So next Saturday against PSG. It's a preseason fixture. Oh, lovely. Atletico got their new red home kit on. It's one of those. It's one of those stadiums as well. I mentioned previously about the FIFA shadow. This stadium's got a proper FIFA shadow going on, where once they actually are playing in the actual sunlight, you can see when they're in the shadow. I'm going to have to do my sort of squinting. What's going on there? Downey Luciano with a super chat. Says just signed Barbershop into my MUTV app to watch. So the whole shop's watching. There you go. That's the kind of community we like to see. Big up to Daniel Luciano with the first super chat of the day. Maybe you can get your super chats in as well. And of course, once the there you go. Man United win it back. Shea Lacey. They tried to have a shot early. Turn this brightness up. Can I turn that brightness up? There you go. It's a bit better. Good feet by Ahmad. Otherwise, I literally couldn't see the screen. Is Lenny Yoro playing at right back again? Be interesting to see what happens when the other fullbacks, Dalo, Mazraoui, etc., return. A bit of a short pass that by Bryan Mbeumo. Has he got the long sleeve on today, Mbeumo? Is he a madman? I mean, maybe the weather's a bit cooler in Stockholm. Mason Mount out to Luke Shaw in the sun. That's going to be a foul. Skiliano says, Yoro not strong enough to play centre-back at the moment. Well, you know what? I was just thinking with him playing at right-back. I was half thinking about, obviously, he spent a lot of time, hasn't he, over the last 12 months playing right centre-back in a back three. Maybe playing right-back is kind of almost a bit more of a natural transition for him, maybe. Maybe that's also not necessarily the thinking. I think at the moment it's just that we don't have many senior right backs available because of the break. But yeah, I wonder if that is maybe just it is a little bit easier because he's been asked to do kind of that, not completely, but kind of do that for the last sort of 12 months or so. I wonder. I realized that I'm not standing up. I said I was going to stand up, so I got to rise. We're rising. We're rising. I got new lights as well. It looks like I'm actually getting smaller, but I'm not. I'm actually getting taller. That's going to be a foul by Harry Maguire. Let's move this. Oh, I dropped my Man United bout. And this can go over here. And we're sorted. So that's a foul by Harry Maguire. Free kick to Atletico Madrid. Ball in. Oof, it was a near post one. It was blocked by Mason Mount in the end. Super chat here says, are you ready for SummerSlam? Am I ready? I will be live, as I mentioned. 10:45. Starts at 11, which isn't a bad time, actually, as well. So we'll take that. Corner for Atletico Madrid. I've taken it short. Ball in. Oh, it's in. 1-0 Atletico Madrid. Has it gone straight in? I think it might have gone straight in, you know. That was not a pretty set piece, Ian, wherever you are. I think it's one of those ones where it's a good cross, but the keeper's kind of rooted, just waiting for someone to get a touch to it, and I don't think anyone does. Let's have a look. So they take it short. I mean, United, do they react? Yeah, I think it just goes all the way in. Maybe could you say, Ahmad, get out of him, block the cross? No, I don't think he touches it. I think it just goes in. I would maybe, I mean, the goalkeeper, the players, not sure they could do much about the cross. I would maybe again look at Ahmad and go, you got to get out to it quicker. Stop that cross. I hate the kind of, half-hearted sort of dangle a leg out. Let's just dangle a leg. Well, I tried to block it. Sloppy goal to concede that. And we saw this against Rosenborg, didn't we? We saw it against Rosenborg where the first 15 minutes, we were really, really sloppy in that game. And then we kind of sort of shrugged it off. We were a little bit worried, like, oh, is this the carry on after the Wrexham game? But then we settled into the game and we were the much better side. But this is what we were saying by this is more of a tougher test. You're playing a better team. You're playing Atletico Madrid. This team in recent years has won La Liga titles. And the last thing you want to do to an Atleti side is give them an early lead, even in pre-season. Oof. Skiliano, Onana Bindier now hitting all conceded goals directly from a corner kick. Hey, that is not a direct from a corner kick. That is, there's a short corner. It's across in the box. To be honest with you, like I said, I know some will say, "Oh, goalkeeper," but they're tough. Those ones, they're tough. That's a short. You have to get out to it. Because you stay rooted to anticipating contact because you think there's going to be contact and it just doesn't come. If anything, like I said, I would more look at one, Ahmad, can you get out to the ball, stop that a bit more, stop the ball into the box, and then probably more, to be honest, more the centre-backs. I'd look at the centre-backs, maybe Maguire and go, look, got to get something on that. Because if you let a ball, as a defender, if you just let the ball come through the box anyway, you're not really doing your job. You should always try and get some contact on it. So, yeah. But 8 minutes gone. 1-0 Atletico Madrid. Maguire, good pass. Fizzed in, good control. Maybe I should sit down. Stand up, immediately concede. I've just got such bad memories of playing at Atletico. I think back to when we played them in the Champions League under Ralf Rangnick. When we Anthony Elanga scored in the first leg, which was away. And then the second leg at Old Trafford, they beat us. And we just like properly played into like proper Simeone ball. I think they scored and they then must have spent like the next 20 or 30 minutes just wasting time. And we played into it. Good pass. And Mbeumo. Mason Mount. Ahmad. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Where are you going to go? Mount ball in. Back post. Back post. Oh, Luke Shaw with the volley. If it's either side, it probably goes in. It's a good save from Oblak. It's just right at him, I think. Good ball by Mason Mount. Actually, back post. Great technique by Luke Shaw. He probably connects with it too well, honestly. Yeah, it's just literally, it couldn't be more at Oblak. It's like, it's right in the middle of his head. Great technique, but that's better move. Corner ball, though. In a very empty stand. Maguire's on the floor. He has got his shirt, to be fair. VAR! I want a penalty. Of course, there is not VAR in this game. Can confirm there is not. But it's, Maguire and Le Normand. Quarter ball, Bryan Mbeumo, ball in. Back post. Oh, headed wide by Lenioro. Well, United responded a bit better after that goal now. A couple of opportunities. Patrick Dorgan just pushing that Atletico player. There's a hell of a lot of wrestling going on in that box. SummerSlam come early. Not the US Bank Stadium. It's the Strawberry Arena. It's not really got the same level of, could you imagine that? Welcome to WrestleMania. I tell you what, this Sunday, I'm going to absolutely destroy you and take everything from you, ruin your livelihood in the Strawberry Arena. It ends not as threatening at the end, does it? It kind of just ends a little bit. I don't care how much I have to bleed. I don't care how much I have to fight. I don't care how much I have to sacrifice. I'm going to leave it all on the line. In the Pineapple Stadium. I mean, it just wouldn't really work, would it? You know what I mean? This doesn't really... Once you have to add the sort of fruit element onto it. Here's Ahmad. Well, since the goal, United had commentator's curse. Since the goal, United had a lot more of the ball. Obviously, a couple of opportunities, but doesn't matter for anything. If you're 1-0 down, that's going to be a foul. A bit of a cynical one there by Dorgu. Atletico Madrid free kick. Yeah, Patrick Dorgu knew what he was doing. If it was a proper game, he'd have probably got a yellow card. Because, that would be very much a yellow card. Yeah, they just mentioned that on commentary at the moment. If you haven't already, click the like button. We've got over 1,300 people watching. Here come Man United. Dorgu's chasing that one down, but Oblak comes out. That's a good pass in the end from the veteran who I thought was way older. I genuinely the other day when we searched that up, and again, just to double check, the knowledge that Jan Oblak is 33, excuse me, not 31, 33 years old, it floored me. I could have thought he was, I would have sworn he was like late 30s or maybe nearly 40. Conrad Sebs says, to be fair, watching grown men play fighting is already cringe in the first place, TBH. What do you mean play? Weird. Play. Don't know what they're implying. Play. Definitely not implying that it's not real, because that would be... No, it'd be stupid if that happened. Where are we at? Ball over the top, attempted by Heaven. That goes out for a throw-in, though, is Dorgu. With a good throw. It wasn't the foul throw. There's nothing worse. Nothing more than grinds my gears than a foul throw, I must say. Fiaz says, where's Flex today? He's double booked. It's got to be a free kick, surely. Free kick to Manchester United, edge of the box. Bryan Mbeumo. Mbeumo just got past the Atleti players. Definite foul. Let's have a look. Yeah, good one touch. Great touch. 1-2. Definitely a foul. Good link-up play by Mason Mount there as well. Yeah, kind of got the ball got caught a little bit under Mbeumo's feet. Actually, the foul was probably the best thing. All right, free kick to United as Oblak's trying to organise his wall. Who's going to take? You can see there's Mbeumo over it. Ahmad. No, it does look like Ahmad fancies it. Looks like Ahmad's going to be the one. All right, Ahmad. We've got maybe he could have blocked that cross a little bit, or maybe Ahmad's not going to take it, actually. Look. Ahmad, no, he's hiding. He was blocked by Mbeumo. I thought he disappeared. Just like it's gone. And Mbeumo walks off, so... No. Ahmad! Oh, it didn't go in. How did that not go in? Oh. He does just drive it as hard as you can under the wall, and it takes a little bit of a nick off someone. Who's it hit? I don't know. And then Oblak's like wrong-footed, and he's going this way, and he sticks his leg out and just stops it. And then it looks like it's going to sort of spin and go over the line, and he just stops it. Oh. Damn. Oh, man, yeah, look, since going 1-0 down, had a couple of opportunities come pretty close. Obviously, Shaw's volley, that Ahmad free kick. Yoro did his usual, one day he'll, properly score, but go close. I swear Yoro goes close on a matchly basis. How long are you going to take, Oblak? Good grief. Good touch by Lacey. Offside. Come on, Ahmad. That's basic. Yeah, a keeper does really, really well. And yeah, it comes off the Atleti player, and Oblak just kind of sticks a leg out just enough. I don't even know if Ahmad really caught it pure either as well, really. Was that Man United free kick? Oh, it's an Atleti free kick. Yeah. I tell you what, once again, it is... I can't wait for the start of the Prem season, obviously just because, the Prem, but I can't wait for the start of the Prem season just to start watching a game of football that's got some atmosphere going again. I know it's only pre-season, but is very much like watching during the COVID times. Here come Atletico Madrid, though, again. Offside. Good line by Manchester United's defence. It must be said, it's quite frustrating, actually, because outside conceding that goal, which was such a sloppy goal to concede, it was tight. Outside that goal, Man United have actually been all right. Threatened a couple of times, come close. Had quite a bit of the ball. But that's peak Atleti, isn't it? That's Simeone to a nutshell, which is you can get an early lead or you get a goal or play until you get the goal. And then once you've got the goal, try and break us down, see what you can do. Here come United again. Mason Mount. Mason Mount's been everywhere in his first half. He's been buzzing around all over the place. Here's Luke Shaw. He's not going to take a shot, is he? Looked like he thought about it for a second. Dorgu out wide. Lacey. If he can get something out of that, unlucky. He kind of control was a bit wild. He tried to recover. Is that going to be our ball? Goal kick. Do you know what, Conrad? Conrad mentions that. He says, I love the World Cup, but I'm happy it's over, so I don't have to hear the Shakira song anymore. It took a while to wear off, but thank God I don't have to hear this is more than just a game. It's our DNA. I mean, that hook has just been on a loop in my head for like 2 months, and I hate it now. Game, you get the national anthems, you're getting excited. Well, and then what were we hearing? Was it Titanium by Sia afterwards? I remember. Good grief. Come Atleti on the attack. He's overhit that. Has he kept it in? I think he just about kept it in. Ball in the box. I was not expecting him to keep that in. Did really well to keep it on the pitch. Who was that? I mean, it was heaven, a bit of a scuff. Oh, it's not by Sia, it's David Guetta, isn't it? Technically, featuring Sia. Excuse me. Keeping me honest, Steffi Jegs. Oof. Fullback with a bit of a sloppy touch. They just managed to keep it in the end, though. But if you're just tuning in, 1-0 to Atletico Madrid. Who actually scored their goal? Who was it credited to? Who took the who did the cross? The cross that went all the way in. Oh, interestingly, the Champions League ball is in use. This, of course, a potential matchup that we could see in the UEFA Champions League this season, and the competition's star-themed match ball is being used. It was Arnau Ortiz. It was a curling cross, and it just crept in. But 21 minutes gone, 1-0 Atletico. Outside of that, Man United probably been the better side. Luke Shaw had a volley that was right at Oblak. Deflected Ahmad free kick. Looked like it might creep over the line, but Oblak managed to stretch out a leg. Good pass, that. Great pass. Is he offside? Unlucky. Just off. But I like the attempt that, though, from Aiden Heaven. I like trying to find those forward passes. I think a lot of times when you're playing centre-back or centre midfield, sometimes, particularly at United, you see it with players playing it safe. Don't want to take those risks. Don't want to play direct. Just want to do the, pre-match, follow the advice, take a touch, get it out your feet, play it simple. Come Atletico again. Going up against... No, ref. I mean, they're saying it's a foul by Aiden Heaven because Aiden Heaven sort of passes him off like that. But I don't know if there was much in it. He's just defending. Oh, my. Nah. What we... oh, my God. I mean, he's a defender. He's a defender. It's a contact sport. He has to go like this, and then if you're strong enough, get past him. Ugh. Game's gone. Game's gone. Exactly, Skiliano. Game's gone. You can no longer, go shoulder to shoulder, arm to arm. You can't. Oh. So, by the way, that's a foul. But all of the wrestling you see in the box, when there's corners and stuff like that, that gets allowed a lot of the time. Madness. Good header by Aiden Heaven. I tell you what, he's getting more and more composed, isn't he, Aiden Heaven? Unlucky by Lenny Yoro. He did really well, but the final ball there just wasn't that. Oh, exactly, Matty. That kind of is also the point, isn't it? Matty says doing that in a friendly is nasty work. It kind of is, isn't it? In the sense that, like, I mean, I don't get it at all. But, if there's a game, like titles on the line, Luke Shaw. Oh, he just fizzed that again against Oblak. I don't know if he meant it. Oh, ref. Always referees getting in the way. I swear it happens to us too much. Good pass outside. Good touch by Shea Lacey as well. He's going to try and take him on. No, cuts it back. Like I said, in the round of the box, we've actually played some nice stuff. We've been the better side, but it's just typical Atleti. If you give them an inch, they're going to take 10 miles. That's what they do. Can't give them an early goal, something to defend or hold on to. Good pass by Harry Maguire, that as well. Patrick Dorgu. I said United's passing been a lot better. Dorgu tries to play a 1-2. It's got to be a foul. Good stuff. Good build-up play that by Manchester United. Kept it calm. Couldn't find the opening. Recycled it as well. Went from one side to the next until they found the opening. It's just a clear foul. Is that the same guy that went down because he was holding his face? He holding his face again? What a knobhead. Right, free kick to Manchester United. It's going to be Luke Shaw and Mason Mount standing over it. Super chat from Red Baron says, Atletico are the worst in La Liga at shithousery. Aren't they just? Right. Who's going to take this one? Maybe going to be a Mason Mount in swinger, you would probably think. Yeah, Mason Mount swings it in. It's not good enough. Doesn't beat the first man. Gets over the ball. Not good enough. I'd rather you just fizz it in on the goalkeeper, see what happens. But United still got the ball. As we're 4 likes away from 400 likes. If you haven't already, click the like button. Be sure to subscribe to United View if you are new. As 26 minutes have gone, and Man United have conceded one of those really frustrating goals in the opening 5 minutes. But since then, we've been the better side. I think you could maybe for that opening goal have conversations about Ahmad getting out to the player, maybe Maguire getting onto it. But since then, Oblak's made more saves. I mean, a couple of saves, actually. They've had decent build-up play as well. Still players to come back to. Again, good playing out from the back by Manchester United. Good play by Heaton out to Lenny Yoro. Again, good play for, like I said, Man United have actually played. Mbeumo. Man United have actually played all right, but nothing to show for it. But a lot of people can say that about playing Diego Simeone sides, can't they? Right? They can say that a lot. Well, we played all right. Just didn't get anything from the game, just unfortunately. "28 minutes gone, still 1-0. Big up to everyone that did click the like button. We're now over 400. We're at 420. Hey. As Atletico with a rare bit of possession. Oblak, the ball at his feet. United trying to press. Yes, look at that, Ahmad. Winning the ball back up high. That's it. Good press. Turn. Shea Lacey, good ball into the box. Oh, it's just wide. It's really good play again by United. Like I said, we've actually played really, really well, I think. Ahmad's pressing high, wins the ball back. I tell you what, look at this. Great by Shea Lacey. Just gets it out of his feet, whips it into the box. And that's really unlucky, actually, from Mbeumo, because he's got a lot to do. He's got to get in front and then just kind of guide it. It's unlucky. But a really good move by United. Again, they're playing some really good stuff. I think if you're being harsh on Mbeumo on that, I think on that chance in particular, you know, can maybe say like some stuff maybe not looking sharp, but I wouldn't be too harsh on Mbeumo for that. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Run, get in front of the defender, try and flick it on. Not a million miles wide. And like I said, I think Shea Lacey did really well. Got it out his feet, whipped it in. 30 minutes gone. One of those. There you go. Man United might be through again. Here he comes. Ooh. Man United won the ball back again. Euro did really well. Oof, unlucky. Again, it's been 30 minutes. The only negative is just the scoreline. Aside from everything else, Man United have been the way better team. Created chances, playing good attacking football, winning the ball back high up the pitch, looking intense, pressing high. Just conceded a sloppy goal where a ball goes into the box and everyone thinks there's going to be a touch. It doesn't happen. And then aside from that, been all over him. Way better. Couple of chances where we haven't scored. We've been a bit unfortunate. Lost the ball in a bad position there. It's going to be a foul. That's one of those ones where, again, he'd have got a yellow card if that was a competitive game. And this is when, again, the discussion about preseason does get really interesting. And I think you do see where real agendas are at, because naturally there would be some that will be at the moment doing the whole, like, oh, look, see, man, I 1-0 down. This is why we need play. We need to do this. We need to do that. And this is when you have to go like, well, again, all of those things can be true. Man, you do need players. You need to bring more players in. But if you look at if you watch this first 31 minutes, would you be going like, oh yeah, Man United, we're shit, we're rubbish? No, you'd actually performance wise, it's not too bad. Actually, it's actually not. It's performance wise not too bad. Get more players back in. Still need more quality in the team. You know, we still got players missing, but get more players back in the team. Well, not horrendous. It's not Atletico team at their strongest either. It's a preseason game, but I'm seeing some patterns of play, if you will. But you know, it's pre-season. It's not too high, not too low kind of vibes, isn't it? But it won't stop the inevitable. This is why we need to go 150 million tomorrow. It's like, well, again, we need a new midfielder anyway, regardless of if we win this game 5-0 or if we lose it 10-0. We need a midfielder. That point does not get changed by this, whatever happens there. Good ball in behind. Again, and look, it's a good ball forward in behind. Dorgu's cross is blocked. Yeah, timed his run. Much better that time. It's difficult ball to control, Dorgu. Maybe that's kind of what hurts him a little bit. But yeah, again, good ball forward. Corner for Manchester United. Mason Mount to take. Ball in. Header. Oh, just wide. Who was it this time? Was that Heaven? I think it might have been Aiden Heaven. I think he's having a look up to the screen to have a look. Yeah. Everyone's waiting for that replay. Yeah, it was Aiden Heaven. But again, look at all of the wrestling in that box. And this is what I was talking about earlier on. The one that, the guy that went down because Aiden Heaven went like that. Look. The amount of wrestling going on between Maguire and Lamond. That's the kind of wrestling when you know VAR isn't around, isn't it? That's when you know. Well done, Mason Mount again. Oof, tried to keep it going forward. Tell you what, Mason Mount's had a really good first half as well. Looks sharp. Speaking of which, just won the ball back again. Here's Ahmad. Lacey looks bright as well. On the right, we know he's going to try and cut back in. JB says, I understand that we're playing good football, but is there a conversation to be had about how clinical we are? Jay, don't even start, yeah? Don't even start. Because I got told a lot last season, yeah, when I said, like, I would love to win games by playing well, but if you win a game and you don't play well, you know what I mean? For me, football's about winning. I got a lot of pushback about that, going, no, it's about playing good football as well. You know what I mean? So let's not start the whole, wow, the football's good, but because that's what the Ruben thing was towards the end, wasn't it? We had that thing under Ruben, didn't we? Of like, you know, our XG's high, but we're not winning games and we're not being, well, that was the thing then, wasn't it? We're just not being clinical, you know? And it's like, well, it's for me, I know that this is probably oversimplifies things. And it does maybe ignore a lot of context, but I am very much a guy of, you know, football's about winning and losing. There's lots of different ways to do it, but history just remembers who wins and who loses. And you know what I mean? You always want to win by playing well and scoring lots of goals. But as time goes on, do you really care that much as long as you win? It's a bit of both, isn't it? It just feels, the problem is with football is it just feels like you can never just have, you could never just have like you say, you could never just play well and then just score goals. It always has to be like, you can play well, but you won't win. You can play badly, but you won't score, but you won't win some games. Maybe we just can't have it all the way we want, eh? It's not a perfect world. But this is where preseason is quite interesting, isn't it? Because also as well, like certainly in the normal season, like I was just talking about, that scoreboard is the thing that matters the most. But in preseason, you are in this sort of realm of it still matters, but the weight of it isn't as high as it usually is. Which is why some will take obviously a lot of stock in the 36 minutes that we've seen of United creating chances, winning the ball back, looking energetic, pressing high up the pitch, winning the ball back high up the pitch, playing quite direct. They'll look at that as encouraging signs. Whereas maybe in a normal Premier League game, you would look at that and go, well, that's important, but that top left. Man United, again, nipping the ball around nicely as well. But look, maybe this is just actually a very good training exercise as well. You know, like sometimes in training where they'll try and do those sort of replicate match conditions. What better way of doing a defense versus attack of a training exercise? We're going to do defense versus attack, and Atletico will give you a goal, so you're 1-0 up. Try and break us down. Good tackle by Lenny Yoro against, look, that's got to be a foul, referee. Well done, Lenny Yoro. He's looked really sharp, Lenny Yoro at right back. It must be said. Yeah, I can't think that Lookman's been that involved, really. Like I said, because the Atletico Madrid attackers, they've been largely parked in their own half. There's it's been all Man United. Good ball again. Great ball. And a really good touch as well by Dorgu. Gets a foul again. How many times has Patrick Dorgu been fouled in this first half? He just attracts fouls like nobody's business. There used to be the statistic. Was it Grealish had it for a while? Like he was the most fouled player in the Premier League. I mean, again, these are the ones he's got in this game as well. It's not even been like in any kind of dispute. They've been clear fouls. All right, come on. Let's make this count. We deserve to be level at the very least. We've been the better side. Luke Shaw, the free kick, ball in. Oh, headed over the bar this time. I'd love to see the statistics in this first half just about how many shots we've had. So that was a really good ball by Luke Shaw as well. Exactly, King of the Indies. That's what I kind of said. It's kind of a bit like, you know, all right, well, let's go for low block training. We'll give you the teams the best, the undisputed kings at it, and we'll give them a goal. Try and break down. But, I mean, again, United have played some really good stuff. Passings actually look considerably better than the last couple of games. Lenny Yoro again wins the ball back, still keeps going. Looks sharp, doesn't he, Lenny? Come on, let's keep going. Ahmad, Yoro again. Go on, into the box. He's cut it back. The cutback's a bit crazy. Luke Shaw, volleyed. Oh, just wide, deflected. Lenny Yoro, he is looking sharp. Wins the ball back, then keeps it going. Ahmad nearly kind of screws it up a little bit, but look at that. It's actually kind of a 1-2, actually. I'm just a bit harsh to Ahmad. The cutback got a bit of a nosebleed there. But look at Lenny go. I tell you what as well, with Luke Shaw's volley, that's on target. And it hits his hand. Oof. Brilliant throw by Oblak. That is proper. What a throw. I thought he got the ball there, referee. But I tell you what there, I mean, the ref's given a foul, but did you see the intensity of which United trying to win that ball back and how quickly trying to win that ball back as well? There is a level of intensity in this game that certainly wasn't there a couple of weeks ago. Wins the ball. I mean, that's a clean tackle. There's nothing wrong with that tackle whatsoever, by the way, from Mason Mount. What a terrible decision. I mean, and the MUTV guys were saying it facetiously, but it's kind of true. Luke Shaw's volley technically touched his arm. The defender's arm. I'm not sure they'd have given it, but you never know. United win it back again in the middle of the pitch. Good position. Trying to pass it forward. Patrick Dorgu. Oh, just intercepted. Again, Man United look really, really sharp. I just really hope that when people, it won't matter, but those that haven't watched this first half, if they tune in at halftime or they just see the result, like, oh great, we're losing 1-0. I hope they sort of realize actually Man United played really well. Oh, tried to cut it back. But again, look at Man United. Look how much, again, slide tackle. Man United's press. As soon as Atletico Madrid have the ball, they are on them. Obviously, I know so much talk about that Rosenborg performance because we won 5-0. But in terms of a 45 from the start, it's probably the best performance of preseason so far. The irony is we're losing. But we've been actually really good. Put tackles in, been pressing, showing intensity, creating chances. Just this is when you do go, oh, you wish you had Bruno Fernandes. But I'm sure Atletico Madrid wish they had a lot of their players as well. So cross blocked by Aiden Heaven. That's going to be a throw. Throw to Atletico as we're about, 2 minutes and 15 seconds away from from halftime. Cross blocked. Good save by Tom Heaton. And that ends up a corner. There was a bit of a hesitation in there. One of the things about actually being able to hear the talk on the pitch is I think they think there's a bit of a miscommunication, I think. Goes up in the air, and I think, yeah, there's a bit of a miscommunication. They wait, and there's a bit of just a tap forward from the Atleti player, and then they take the volley, and it's a good save, actually, by Tom Heaton. Quick reactions. And just like that, again, after playing well and being the better team in the first half, could have been 2-0 down. Atleti special. Ball in. Headed away by Patrick Dorgu. Got to deal with this. Super chat from Red Baron says, do you think Carrick should lose on purpose to get transfers in? Why don't other managers try this to get transfers over the line before the season? So I don't think that's a real thing. I'm going to purposely lose today so to get transfers in. Probably because he doesn't have the and most managers don't have the managerial capital to be able to pull a stunt like that off. You know what I mean? Man United, even in pre-season, you are judged on results. Even like I said, they shouldn't be as heavily judged, but you are still. So you don't want to lose any games being the Man United coach, friendly or not. Only adds to the pressure. I mean, just look at us last season, right? We went on a run of winning all of those games, nearly 5 in a row. I can't remember how many it was unbeaten in the end. And then when Carrick lost his first game after a couple of months, I think it was, he went crazy. That's halftime. Halftime, and Atletico Madrid lead Manchester United at the Strawberry Arena. But aside from that, Manchester United have been absolutely the better side. I mean, we've had Jan Oblak have to make multiple saves. We've seen Oblak make that save from that deflected Ahmad free kick. Luke Shaw with a volley where he smashed it straight at Oblak. We've seen a couple of heads wide, like Lenny and others. So Man United have actually, again, they've probably one of our better performance, probably our best performance of preseason so far. I thought our build-up play looked good, created chances. We won the ball high up the pitch. We looked like we were going to press them from the back. We looked intense. Like I said, it's a different kind of test. All of these different preseason fixtures have different kind of tests. The first test, you're playing Wrexham, who are a couple of weeks or a week or so ahead in their preseason, because, of course, the championship starts earlier, and they're knocking on the door. They might be a Premier League side the season after this. So that's a test. You then got Rosenborg, a side that, they're midway through their season, so they should be sharp. We play really well in that one. We've now got Atletico, who they're like a week or so behind us in preseason. So maybe we should be the sharper side. And we look like it, really, don't we? We look like the sharper side. We look like the team that's maybe got a week or so extra of preseason training on us, right? We look sharp. We're creating. The difference between just, again, the tempo and intensity versus 2 weeks ago is totally, totally different. The unfortunate thing is, and it's one of those games now that you feel like you're going to have to explain it to everyone. So hopefully we can turn it around in the second half on the scoreline, because for those that didn't watch the first half, the natural thing will be, what was the score? Man United, they played Atletico and they lost. Here we go. Great season ahead. You would go, no, actually, they played really well. They should have scored all these goals. But as I mentioned many a time, hypothetical FC. We became it last season. We've been it for many a season. Hypothetical FC. We focus a lot, don't we, on what could have happened, what should have happened. But instead, we don't focus on what actually happened. Right? We focus on, wow, we would have won that game if it wasn't for that refereeing decision. We would have won that game if it wasn't for that VAR decision. We would have won that game if we'd have just finished that chance. We would have won that game if the coach had made this sub. And you go, well, that didn't happen. Should we focus on what did happen? And what did happen in that first half was Man United dominating, but we conceded a really sloppy goal. I think if you're going to look at faults for it, people might look at the goalkeeper. I don't really. I feel like as a keeper, when a cross comes into a box like that, you try and hold your position just in case anyone tries to get a little bit of a flick onto it or the ball changes direction. You can maybe look at Ahmed and go, could you get out to him a bit quicker, stop the cross? Harry Maguire, you've been wrestling all in that first half with Linomon. Could you maybe, get something on it? All right. But it's just, again, sloppy one. But Man United should have made up for it by scoring at least one goal. Luke Shaw's volley, the technique's almost too good, right at Oblak. Ahmad's unlucky from the free kick that takes a deflection. That entire front, well, actually, again, I was just about to say like the front four, but that's not even true. Like the whole team. I can't really fault any of the players. Genuinely, I'm looking at Tom Heaton. That he made a really important save right at the end of that half. That despite us being dominant, we could have ended it up halftime 2-0. So that's a strong save from him. The back four, Lenny Yoro had a really good game against Rosenborg. He's been even better today. Him winning the ball back and getting up the pitch. The only thing probably needs to improve on in that regard is probably end product if he's going to play more at right back, because he sometimes does look a bit sort of centre back playing right back kind of vibe. But he looks sharp. He looks fresh. He looks fit. And most importantly, at the moment, and this is just kind of the worry with Yoro, is that it could change quickly, but he looks confident. And that's the key thing with him. I think he just needs to get some game time, keep building up that confidence, because I think just the thing with him is confidence and maybe put on a bit more size, but maybe that will come. Maybe it won't. Maybe he's just going to be that kind of sort of gangly, lanky kind of fullback. But he's quick as well. So fair play. I think he's looked really, really sharp. Centre backs, Aiden Heaven, I think he's done well too. A couple of times winning the ball back high up the pitch and trying those forward passes. Same with Maguire. That's why it's one of Maguire's strong points, is trying to play forward passes and try and play between the lines. Luke Shaw has been getting up and down, so can't really fault the back four too much. The midfield, they've been great. They've been great. Mason Mount, because remember, he's English. I'm responsible for Mason Mount in this team. I've been facetious. He's been everywhere, hasn't he? The only problem is we've seen that before with Mason Mount, with looking sharp in preseason, looking lean, as they would say. But he has looked sharp. He has been all over the pitch, winning the ball back high up the pitch as well, trying to play those passes in behind. Andrey Santos. I mentioned this in the build-up to this one, that I felt in an effort to support and back a new signing, I felt like a bit too much was done in that first game against Wrexham. It was like we barely saw him. It's fine. We don't need to go over the top. Last game against Rosenborg, we saw more of him. We saw him be a bit more comfortable, get more touches of the ball, play more forward passes, win the ball back, etc. We're seeing even more of that, I think, today. So I've liked what I've seen with him, trying to play that ball forward, win the ball back, just trying to get about the pitch, but also make things happen as well. Not do the Ugarte part of it, where you just go, look, we need someone that can, get around and also and cover some ground, win the ball back. And we need someone that can do a bit more. We need people that can play. As we've said, technical ceiling of this team is really low. Getting people that can just play. I'm not even saying be the best footballers. Just play. Have a good technical profile, right? So I've liked the look of him. Dorgu's just involved, man. Hey, he's involved, isn't he? I mentioned he draws a lot of fouls. Gets up and down. I think the fullback for Atletico Madrid would know they had a bit of a game in that first half. He can still be rash, can't he? And he can still be a bit, because we forget how young he is and the discussion about him playing at left wing. But he does offer energy out there, and he does offer that kind of. He's just raw, athletic. And he'll be an option for us this season. There'll be times he'll have to go out the side, I think. We're not going to get the Patrick Dorgu that we saw in those 3 games last season against Arsenal, City, and Brighton at the end of it. But he's looked sharp as well. Shea Lacey, I would talk about rewarding the faith that's been placed in him from Michael Carrick. He's looked really great in that first half. It's continued like he did against Rosenborg, where Flex and myself mentioned it. He's a player that does make you, when he picks up the ball, I'm just seeing a replay here of when Lenny Yoro and he won it back, and then Lacey's already thinking what he's going to do. I'm going to get out of my feet. I'm just going to whip it. I think players should be there. I'm just going to get out of my feet. Not even going to look. I'm just going to whip it into the box, try something. And he does. And he's really unlucky. And Mbeumo is a bit unlucky. Gets in front of the centre back and tries to just kind of flick it on. If ironically enough, if Benjamin Shesh goes there, I think he might end up getting scoring that one. So Lacey, he's looked comfortable. That's also the important part too of young players is when they play with their senior teammates, do they look out of place? Do they look like a kid playing in a men's team, or do they just look like, part of the team, a regular player? And that's what I would say Lacey has done in that first half. So again, credit to him. And then who else have I got? Who else is on the team? Ahmad, again, he's looked actually quite sharp. He's looked certainly got the bit between his teeth on that right-hand side. Like I said, maybe for that first goal, I'd say get out to him a bit more. But just towards the end of the half there, winning the ball back, pressing high up the pitch, trying things, big season ahead for him. And then up front, Mbeumo, I felt that maybe people were a bit harsh after that header, and it was, Mbeumo should score that. That's a difficult one. I do think that Mbeumo's a funny one, because obviously we know towards the end of last season, he was off it. He was really, post-AFCON, he was off it. And then what we have seen, I think, in this preseason so far from when we've seen him is I do think he's getting back to that level that we expect him, but it's almost like the bozo gene is still kind of working through it, I would say. He's not completely cured. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say he's completely cured of it just yet. It's still there because there's a couple of touches in these 3 games so far, or you give it away and you go, fucking hell, Mbeumo, I don't know about that. But then, you do something good. You go, okay, maybe it's working at it. Or just maybe that's going to get the Bryan Mbeumo that we just maybe got to get used to, perhaps. So, not a bad first half whatsoever, but unfortunately, nothing to show for it. Am I caught up with the supers? I don't think I am. I'll let you read these ones out. Stephen says, Lacey looking really good. Bobby G, I missed a couple from up earlier on. Red Baron says, preseason games are about performance. And Bobby G says, Owen, are you live for SummerSlam? I sure am. Yes, both nights, the streams have all been set up. So I'll be up on my channel. It's an 11 o'clock start. So I'll be live at about 10:45. I think once this stream ends, you'll be redirected there. Not that I'll be live straight away, because that would be insane to be live this early for SummerSlam. But I will be live, yes. 11 p.m. the show starts. I'll be live 10:45 tonight and tomorrow. And I'll be live after the shows as well for post-shows. So be sure to check it out. We're over 31K on OM Wrestling News 365. So be sure to join us. I know Bobby G is always involved there. Another super chat here says, tell you what, that Santos has changed my mind. Those passes through the lines were great. And also, I see Shea having a breakthrough season this year. Do you know what's interesting with that super chat as well? I really appreciate that. Is I think there's 2 things that are quite curious there. One is I hope to see maybe more of that from others. Hopefully, I really hope that Andrey Santos does well. Just so... once again, not even like because of the whole like I told you so thing, because I'd barely seen Andrey Santos play, so it's not even that. I hope he does well, just because 1, I hope all of the transfers do well, but 2, just because I feel like we need these transfers, 1, to work out, but 2, we need them to work out because then it gets more trust in the process, if that makes sense. We hate the word process. That's how shit our process has been, right? We literally like see that the word process, but the more transfers that come to United and end up working out, the more then you can buy into when we do sign someone from Chelsea or from some club, we go, I don't really know that much about it, or I don't know about that one. There's more evidence of like, yeah, but that one worked. Like we were saying that about Andrey Santos, that worked. We were saying that about Senna Lomans and it worked. We were saying that about this person and it worked. Do you know what I mean? So I really hope it works out for him this season. And we go, Chelsea, put that in your Mo Salah, Kevin De Bruyne, file. Could you imagine? If he's half as good as those, we'll be all right. But so hopefully we'll have more of that. And with Shea having a breakthrough year, I hope that as well. This is one of those examples, I think, that again, you should be able to have both. So we've reached this weird stage, where you're right. I look at Shea Lacey in this preseason and I go, I really hope, again, he could have a breakout season, or I hope he gets some opportunities. Now, that can get perceived or heard of as like, don't say that because now we're not going to buy a winger because what? So we got Shea Lacey, so we can't buy a winger. Of course. All of the people we still need to sign, for me, there's nothing I'm going to see in preseason unless it's something really, really unexpected that is going to make me change my mind on any of those positions. We're not going to go through preseason and go, I'll tell you what, Mason Mount, he was just so good. Bored, don't buy a midfielder, please. Now, Man United might try and spin that, and if they do, there'll be a massive meltdown from a lot of people. But I think you're right. I think you should be able to look at these preseason fixtures at the moment and go, Shea Lacey, I tell you what, he could contribute. Oh, what? So we don't need to buy players? No, of course we do. But actually, hopefully, with those players that we still need, if you can add Shea Lacey to that, hey, when is the right time? Yeah, when is the right time for players to break through? Sometimes there isn't one, is there? So no, I think he's looked really sharp. So here's hoping he can have a breakthrough season, as you mentioned. Amanor with the super chat says Euro at right back has been good. Lacey has been very good. Agreed on both. Red Baron says, Amanor, your manager Carrick is doing well. Exactly. Actually, do you think that there's an element of that? Maybe. I tell you what, actually, Red Baron, you've just kind of clicked something in my head a little bit, actually. The whole, and I know it's a bit of a joke that Amanor does the thing to flex your boy Carrick. But do you think like that stuff goes around because it's kind of like already distancing from anything that they do? Do you know what I mean? So like, for instance, if you're Amorim out, when Amorim fails, you can be like, no, I'm not a part of that. You know what I mean? It's kind of almost like this weird way of distancing yourself. But we're all still Man United fans. Like, whether I suppose you like Michael Carrick or not, whether you liked Ruben Amorim or not, he's our coach. Like, they're our managers. You know what I mean? You can't run away from it. You got to just take the L and be embarrassed by it. You can't be like, it's not my manager. Well, he is. So you're gonna have to deal with it, good, bad, indifferent, or ugly. So maybe it's kind of just clicked in my head a little bit, Red Brown. I think it is a bit of that, isn't it? It is very much. That's not me. That's no. But you don't like Mason Mount, for instance, right? Yeah, he's a Man United player though. Yeah, but I don't like him, so that doesn't count. I don't get shtick for that one. You're like, okay. okay. Maybe that is that. We had a breakthrough, Red Baron. You're like my psychiatrist. Right, we are waiting for the second half to begin. Make sure that I got the screens in front of me where they should be, and make sure I got the sound up so I can hear the players have very in-depth conversations, because there's barely any noise coming from the Strawberry Arena. See, 9th, man. That's why I think that's really bad faith, right? I think that's really bad faith. I'm not gonna lie. So this is when, you got offended the other day because I mentioned about attention. People being negative to get attention, and you got annoyed about that. I'll give you your attention. No, he's not. He's our manager. He's like, if you're the Manchester United manager, if you're going to be like Manchester United is our team, you take it warts and all. You don't get to choose. You know what I mean? You don't get you take it warts and all. Not my manager, because you're doing exactly what I just said, which is you're already trying to distance yourself. Like, oh no, I don't support that aspect of it. I expect you. If you're a Man United fan, you take it all, right? You take in the same way that when they say like, oh, idiots, don't represent the whole fan base. No, they don't. But if one acts stupid, you have to sort of go, look, yeah, shit, Man United fan. That's not a good look, So, nah, I'm not having that. I'm not having that. You can't be like, well, no, it's our club, but not my manager. Or it's this and that. No. Again, that's when I sort of go, well, it's just. Now we have we chose. We have a choice. This is life. Yeah, because if you support the team, then you're supporting you support everyone associated with that team. Like what? See, I mean, I'm giving you too much attention. I'm giving you what you wanted. Enough now, because that is just stupid. Right, here we go. Like, even when Ruben was at his worst, he's still my head coach because he manages my team. Like, it's kind of shit, isn't it? You know, we don't choose the manager. We don't choose the players. I'm not in control of Man United. I mean, it's just like, oh, man. Man United lose the ball there. And this is kind of what I was saying about, like, with the Rashford thing, for example, the other day. Like, if it was me, I'd move Marcus Rashford on. But if he does stay and he steps across the white line, and puts on the red shirt, he's a Man United player. You support, you back him. You know. He's your manager. Were we in the room when he got signed? Like, what are we doing here? It's like, man. And I don't even go down the route of our club legend. Don't do that to him. I would have done it with any manager, literally any manager. Here's Aiden Heaven again. Luke Shaw. I agree. Make it a red line. Why not? If it's snowing, what color do they use? Like, what color do they use? Is it like blue or yellow when it snows? Man United again, still nipping the ball around really, really quickly. The intensity has not dropped off in the slightest. Haven't tried to thread the ball forward to Luke Shaw, got blocked off. Atletico player goes down. I wonder, the ref plays on. I was wondering how long the ref was going to play advantage for. He played a little bit. I don't even know if he actually gave a foul. What's going on here? He's given a yellow card. It's a yellow card for Aiden Heaven. What for? Oh, that. Maybe. I mean, there were a couple of times in that first half, the referee easily could have given us a couple of yellow cards for some cynical tackles. Now he's decided he is going to give us some yellow cards. Well, I'm sure Atletico could have got their fair share in that first half as well. I never know where's the line when it comes to like, where's the line of like how like giving out cards in a friendly? It's always the weirdest thing. Like, you know, you should never really be put in the position to give a red card in a friendly. Sometimes, though, I suppose you have to if a tackle's bad enough or if a fight breaks out. But also, like yellow cards, even for cynical fouls, you give them out in friendlies. I suppose technically you should. But you also don't want to get like just stupid and pedantic. It is only a pre-season fixture. And Mbeumo, surely. UC Wesley says, how are we playing? We've been playing very well. Man United won it back high up the pitch again. Getting a lot of that in the first half. Only thing missing is a goal. Really good ball. Good touch by Luke Shaw as well. Who's that from? Maguire, I think that was that pass. As Flex has mentioned out many a time, Maguire does have a great switch of play. Andrey Santos. He's looked really good in the first half. Lady Yoro. Santos again. Aiden Heaven. That's got to be a penalty. Got to be a penalty. There's a penalty. Shea Lacey. It's entirely deserved as well. I tell you what, that is such a well-worked, just slow build-up play by Manchester United. Shea Lacey, great feet as well. It's a clear-as-day penalty. And Man United, again, someone asked earlier on, this was it. Yeah, Uzi said how we played. We've played really well. Build-up play's been good. Shea Lacey, great feet. Trailing leg. Look at that. See you later. Sticks a leg out. Clear as day penalty. And he's been really, really good. He's been really sharp as well. Trying to make things happen. Quick little bursts of movement. Now, who's going to take? Because Manchester United, absolutely, it's going to be Bryan Mbeumo, deserve to be level at the very least. We deserve to be, honestly, leading. But this is for parity. This is to be level. Bryan Mbeumo had a bit of an indifferent game. Maybe still not been at his best. But like I said, he needs his moments to build back up some confidence, I think. Bryan Mbeumo. Oh, nice. Lovely. 1-1. Bryan Mbeumo equalizes for Manchester United. And I tell you what, who sung that? Was it Lamar? Is there any justice in the world? Yes, because Manchester United are level. And they absolutely deserve to be level. We have been the better side. We have been playing with intensity. We've been playing crisp passing. We've been creating chances. And look at that, Bryan Mbeumo. It's not really... It's a kind of a stutter. It's the sort of Jorginho, Bruno Fernandes, that kind of old school skip and a jump penalty technique. But it's 1-1, Manchester United score. Bryan Mbeumo from 12 yards, entirely deserved because we've been by far the better team, by far the more intense team. Shea Lacey as well, once again standing out. He had that opportunity in the first half where he should have got an assist, really, where... got out his feet, whipped it in, and Mbeumo couldn't get the goal that time. Another good tackle by United. Look at this. We're playing well. Flex is in the chat. He says, big up, guys. How's the game been? We've been playing well. We've been playing excellent, Flex. Much. We've been playing best performance of preseason so far. Shouldn't have been 1-0 down. Very unlucky. But yes, 1-1. And I'm glad. I really didn't want to have to do the whole, well, we still might. But, you know, like sometimes when you're 1-0 down, you're just like, oh, I hope we end up winning this. Just like one, because I wanted to win. But also, it's going to be shit trying to have to, like, listen to people get all pretend annoyed at stuff. But if you are just tuning in, 1-1, Bryan Mbeumo scores a penalty, won by Shea Lacey. Some people asking, what's Flex doing? Look, to be honest, he stitched me up here because I didn't want to say this out loud, but he's maybe somewhere in the northeast, maybe working on a deal for a certain left back. I don't want to say it, Flex. I don't. You're spoiling people knowing where you are. He's in negotiations. There's confidentiality, NDA. Bloody hell! We're not going to get him now. Did you hear Matty Renton last night? Says he's round the corner from him. He's seen him in the cafe all the time. Lovely bloke. Oh. That's where Fleck is. Tom Heaton. 40-year-old Tom Heaton. The heat is on. Maybe not as intense as the heat was previously at 40 years of age, but still burning. Smouldering, if you will. Luke Shaw. But United still got a good pass. Andrey Santos. Oh, unlucky. Just the touch wasn't great from, who was that? Was that Lacey again? I think maybe. Yeah, I think it was. But it was a really good pass by Andrey Santos. I hope they show it. Oh, they're just showing Lacey's feet. Yeah, clear pen. But I tell you what, we are seeing a lot more as well of that Andrey Santos playing those direct passes, forward passes, try and break the lines. I like it. What I don't like is Madrid being in behind here. Cuts it back. Is there anyone there? Good tackle by Lenny Oro again. Shot over the bar by Atletico. We're just seeing a replay of here. Oh, their opportunity where it was a flick on. We've got over 600 people watching here at the moment. Folks, if you haven't already, click the like button. Be sure to subscribe if you are new. We are over 214,000 subscribers. We've got a lot of exciting stuff coming up for the season ahead. Some new shows, some exciting new graphics that we're working on. So if you are new to United View, now's the time to subscribe. A long season ahead, but an exciting one. We're back in the Champions League as well. First time in the new format. Draw of which, that's Monday, by the way. Monday. So Monday, the 3rd of August, we will be in the Champions League draw. We will find out our fixtures. No longer our groups, but our fixtures. Here come Atletico Madrid on the attack. Atletico Madrid's playing it around. A bit of rare possession, honestly. A lot of bit of rare possession for Atletico, in all honesty. They barely touched the ball in this game so far, apart from when they scored their goal. And even that, the characteristic of that goal was that nobody touched it. It was a cross that just went in. As they went to... Well, that might be a loaded question, Flex. that might be a loaded question. Flex said, who stood out, guys? Let me know. I mean, to be fair, it's going to be a bit of a difficult one. Everyone has. Lenny Oro's looked really sharp at right back. Aiden Heaven composed at centre back. Andrey Santos, he's probably been his best performance so far. He's getting better and better. He's looked really, really impressive playing the ball forward. Mason Mount's looked sharp. Seen less of him, though, so far in this second half, haven't we? Here comes... Is that going to be a foul? Lacey's done really well. Ahmad's getting... I'd say Ahmad's done well as well. Dorgu, energetic, done well. Done okay. Well, I need to... Where's my lead judges button? I keep saying there was one when... after the Morgan Rogers thing, and he went crazy, and I should have got a load of sound clips from that. Luke Shaw, I thought that foul might be given. The ref said no, and the player did the header on the floor.
Done okay.
That was the one, yeah. Done okay.
Done okay. Do you fucking understand me on that?
Yeah. Here he goes. Oh, see you later. Shea Lacey steps past him. Oh. Step over from Lacey. He left that Atleti player in dust. Look at this. See you later. Gone. He probably got embarrassed there. It's maybe a bit better end product. Right, looks like Atletico is bringing on a bunch of subs here. How many is that? That must be about... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players, said Gary Neville. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players. This Manchester United side. Like you wouldn't believe. Thomas Lamar. I haven't heard that name in a while. Wasn't he the one... Didn't Arsenal make like a nearly 100 million bid for him way back when? Or am I mixing up names? Santos doing well again. Andrey Santos has done very well, it must be said, in this game so far. The real question that I have, though, actually, watching this game and watching Andrey Santos so far is who do we think is Santos's best midfield partner at Manchester United currently? Because the way I'm watching him play at the moment, I'm sort of going Cobby. There still would be that, getting around, covering the distance kind of issue there. But, we're having a lot of the ball. Maybe the mindset is to have a lot more of the ball. Tielemans as well. Forgot that. Tielemans and Andrey Santos. There you go. Ball over the top. Oof. And yeah, looks. I mean, we're only going to play 2 midfielders, so we got Cobby, Andrey Santos, Mount. I mean, funny, if Mason Mount genuinely could be relied on to stay fit, then it would be having maybe a bit of a different conversation, wouldn't we? But it's not even a conversation worth having at this point. There is so much that needs to be proven from Mason Mount before I think anyone has a can he stay fit long-term conversation. And the answer is yes, he can. So like I said, going into it, as well as we have been playing in this fixture, and with the players still to come back, you get, actually, got players coming back, but still need those players. Still need those players. Still need that next midfielder. Who that midfielder is going to be. Oof. That is a question, isn't it? Mountini, 38-game Luke Shaw season next year. The thing is now, when I see Mount and then the I would start thinking of the Mountie. And I did a thing on my channel earlier about how he threw a tantrum allegedly backstage recently and got threatened to leave, to be told to leave. Oh, heavy touch. Who lost the ball? I think it was Shea Lacey. And did everything he could to win the ball back, bless him, afterwards. Didn't get there, though. As we're 63 minutes gone, still 1-1. An early Atletico goal ruled out from a Bryan Mbeumo penalty, won by Shea Lacey. And what has been a very good performance by Manchester United. I mean, we're at 63 minutes here. So, I mean, one would think we are well into the territory of the wholesale changes that we saw last time against Rosenborg, right? Unless Carrick is really going with every single preseason fixture, that first 11 are going to be starting a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Because I think Atletico have changed pretty much their whole team now. Is Oblak still in goal? I tell you what, bless those people in the crowd. There's like 2 or 3 trying to get a chant going. Sounds less of, football stadium atmosphere, more outside Domino's 3 o'clock in the morning on the night out kind of thing. But you can't fault the effort. I mean, now we're getting close to 65 minutes. Surely I think Carrick's going to make some subs pretty soon. As we are 1 like away from 650 likes. If you haven't already clicked that like button. Oh, Patrick. Patrick, what happened there? I don't even know. Oh, good grief. Aiden Heaven's happened to you. I mentioned the bozo, Gene. Good tackle, Aiden Heaven. I don't even know what happened to Patrick Dorgu then. He got the ball stuck under his feet, and then his like legs just gave away. He just ended up on the floor. He didn't get tackled, and the ball at that point was no longer actually near him. He just kind of, the body just refused to cooperate for a second. He literally was just like, oh, it's stuck under my feet. I'm now going to go to the floor. It was like, oh, is he okay? And then Aiden Heaven struggled to stand up for a second, but he recovered well. Ball over the top by Atleti. Is that going to go all the way back to the goalkeeper? No. Maguire will see it out, though. Well done, Harry Maguire. Yes. Wouldn't be out of place with Oberfemi and Brock inside Hell Nassau. Let's have a bit of a wrestle. Yeah, they got a completely different starting 11, or completely different 11, should I say, not starting. Completely different 11 Atletico now. Maguire just deals with that. Red Brown with a super chat says Carrick ball should be possession focused and a marauding central defensive midfielder would not be required as much. We won't need to keep winning the ball back, in my opinion. Maybe. I think the problem is you are gonna need games when you're up against it, though, aren't you? You're gonna have to, especially against the top teams as well. Against the top teams, you're gonna need that real engine room feel like we just need that player. I mean, Flex was kind of sort of floating it the other day. And I guess he's kind of half right, saying, well, maybe it doesn't need to be this huge high-profile marquee name. But this was my issue with the whole marquee stuff in the first place. Is the issue with the marquee or high-profile name is everyone's definition or interpretation of marquee is different, or high-profile is different. And the last thing we need as a fan base who cannot agree on barely anything is to have another discussion on what a word means. Ball goes forward. Maguire's going to deal with that, though. Oh. Still the starters are on the pitch, interestingly. So this starting group are certainly getting the minutes in. Maybe Michael Carrick. I mentioned this too, and I do wonder if some other teams are going to try and look at this. Look, because obviously it's going to be, everyone knows it's a long season, isn't it? Particularly with the amount of fixtures now, amount of competitions, it's a long season and you need a big squad. But I do just wonder if Michael Carrick and others at Manchester United did look at the number of players we had that didn't go to the World Cup this summer. And I do wonder if they looked at that and went, you know what, we could maybe use that to our advantage a little bit. You know, we could start, we could have a really quick start to the season, a real fresh start to the season. But then, as many people were saying to me Friday, which is also very, very true, with that mindset, wouldn't you then be like, right, we've got to get players through the door as soon as possible? Which they've got 2 through the door, but if we had an extra midfielder now, we'd be like, okay, good, right, work on the other positions. But it's that unknown. That third midfielder feels like it could come tomorrow or could come like deadline day. No in between. Free kick to Atletico Madrid. Shea Lacey is the draft excluder behind the wall. Oof. Right into the wall. Aiden Heaven. Was it Andrey Santos? Yeah. It was Andrey Santos that caught. Yeah. You heard it immediately. It was a splat. It was Lamar who took the free kick. Have a look here. Did it hit him in the face? I don't even know if it did. Oh, off his chest and into his face. He's fine. He's fine. It's fine. It's all good. I thought for a second it was one of those straight in the face ones. They nasty. All right, we're entering into the final 20 minutes. Still no substitutions, I don't think, from Manchester United. Joshua, is that Zirkzee? No. We got, I think, is that Camerson? Got Joshua Zirkzee. JJ Gabriel is on the bench. We didn't see an appearance from him last week, to the disappointment of some. But it looks like we're going to have a couple of changes again. Maybe not wholesale changes, which we're very used to in these preseason fixtures. Because obviously the challenge now is you've got a team, you know, we're in there with Atletico of 11 completely fresh players against, you know, 11 players that are just a couple of weeks into preseason, so probably still maybe feeling a bit tired. But this should also maybe be where it's like, well, yes, a fresh team is on, but is it a strong Atleti team? Right? Or should it be, should we be taking advantage of this at the moment? Either way, I don't think some of these players are going to have much longer because we're going to be making some subs very shortly. With less than 20 minutes to go. Less than 30 likes away from 700 likes as well, folks. Ball over the top. Heaton, I think you got that. The heat is still on. Luke Shaw give the ball away. They were hoping it was going to go off. It hasn't. Here come Atletico Madrid again. Oh, it's a good ball by Lamar. Oh, good save by Tom Heaton again. The heat is on. Look at that. Cat-like reflexes from the 40-year-old. Rolling back the years. It's a good pass. I'll tell you what, Lenny Yoro lost him as well. Completely lost him. One pass in behind. I think Yoro was trying to read it, step forward. He just gets it all wrong, really. Are we getting subs now? It was a good save by Tom Heaton. Right, we are making subs. We're getting wholesale changes. So who's coming off? We've got the likes of Dorgu, Shaw is coming off. Armour, Amas coming on. Dan Armour, is that the Maguire regen? So I think Shea Lacey's just come off as well. Is that Joshua Zirkzee? Ethan Williams. So what was that? 4 subs? It's not totally wholesale. So we've still got the likes of Andrey Santos on the pitch. We've still got, who else senior players we still got on the pitch? Is Yoro still on? I forget. Joshua Zirkzee, is he going to have a point to prove? To be fair, though, I mean, Carrick, he started Ahmad. And they've given the ball away. Manchester United, ball in the box. Cut it back. Mbeumo 2-1! And Manchester United lead. And like I said when we equalise, it's entirely deserved. Entirely deserved. I'm so glad we've just got this goal because this is a game that Manchester United deserve to be winning. They absolutely deserve to be winning this game. We've been the better team. We've created more chances many times in this game as well. We've seen just this. Pressing high up the pitch, forcing errors in and around the opposition box. Just seeing them playing out from the back here. Zirkzee started actually by closing down. And who won it back? A little bit of luck there as well. But we'll take it. Yeah, it was Jack Fletcher. And gets a little bit of a deflection, the cross. And Mbeumo, he's just there. Not the prettiest goal at all. Where are you, Ian? I'll give you that. Wasn't the prettiest one. But we'll take it. And Mbeumo. And this is what's, again, so funny about football, isn't it? Because I think if you didn't watch the match and you saw this, you go, Man United won 2-1. You go, oh, brilliant. What was it? You go, I tell you what, there's a lot of context there, isn't there? There's quite a lot of context in the sense that Man United, 2-1, probably flat as Atletico Madrid. We've been way better than them. We've been really, really good. 2 goals from Mbeumo. You go, what? So Mbeumo played really well. You go, he did all right. But, I mean, everyone's been really good. Really, really good. So I'm happy with that. Now it's going to be interesting to see what Atletico do. They've actually got attack, which they just haven't done for 75 minutes at all, have they? Well, I say that actually. Tom Heaton has made a couple of good saves. But 2-1. And 2 goals for Bryan Mbeumo. Penalty. And what I do like about that Mbeumo goal, though, that is just the goal from just be in there. Just be in there. You know, obviously, so much will be made about great goals and good-looking goals and pretty goals. But sometimes with a striker as well, just being in and around it, the ball will bounce off you. Or if you're in difficult positions, defenders, you know, it makes life difficult for them. So I like that from Bryan Mbeumo. But got to deal with this. Edge of the box. It's Lamar. Oh, they step forward here, about 25 yards out. United, they're going to go on the counter. Zirkzee. Look at the speed. Look at the strength. Shrugs him off. I tell you what, though, Zirkzee, he did look strong then. Picked up the ball, just started going. A couple of Atletico players just get off me. Get off me. And very unfortunate not to be starting. considering how well he played last week. And isn't football, this is where football is so strange as well, because like for 76 minutes, right, we have been absolutely all over Atletico. Any opportunity they had came from counter-attack. That's about it. We go 2-1 up. Suddenly Atletico got to start trying to attack. We've had like 77 minutes of us playing football, creating chances, neat and tidy, sort of build up, good play in and around the box. We've scored 2 now, but we're having a discussion at halftime going to be a bit more clinical, because by that point we should have had a couple of goals. Now we'd go 2-1 up and suddenly Atleti are like, oh, we might play. Although saying that, they're playing, they got like a back, they got back 5 or back 4. Yeah, they got back 5. They play back 5. We've been playing with that 4-2-3-1 this whole game, controlling possession, dictating the game. Really, really intense pressing, high up the pitch as well. Whenever we've lost it, we've tried to win it back immediately. We did say this in the preview as well, Flex and myself, saying that, you know, obviously we know it's not the complete Atletico side, in the same way it's not the complete Man United side, but this is our biggest test of preseason so far, certainly. Best team we've been up against. And still 12 minutes to go, but so far so good. Well worthy of the 2-1 lead. And now it's starting to see a bit more, you know, we backed off a little bit for a second or two there, but now you're seeing, look, we've got the ball back. So now we're playing back in their half again. Just wrestling a bit more control of the game. Ball over the top. He's trying to look for Harry Amass there. Oh, into the box. Zirkzee. He's going to try. He's going to try. He's managed to wriggle away. Across goal. Oh, unlucky. He did so well. I mean, well done, Joshua Zirkzee, because, I mean, he's got no right to be able to create a chance there. Somehow he managed to shrug off a defender or two and get it across goal. I think his teammates should maybe believe in him a little bit more. If they were there, that'd have been a tap-in. But it's that level of intensity that I've been talking about all game. That kind of just don't give up on the ball. Don't give up. And he's surrounded by 2 players, shrugs them off. Look at that captain. He's crawling on his hands and knees trying to keep up with Zirkzee. Yeah, that's much better. I was a little concerned for a second that maybe we'd do the classic score. Now we want to protect our lead, what is known in the industry as the Tuchel. But now just doing the best form of defense is attack. Not even necessarily go all out, but just keep the ball. Keep the ball. You don't have to maybe be as intense as you were 5-10 minutes ago. You can back off a little bit. But if you keep the ball, you don't then have to go in the low block kind of stuff, right? You keep the ball, you control your destiny. You control the game. Which is what we're doing here. And what's amazing is, like I mentioned about Atletico, they came out to play like a couple of minutes after we scored that second. But now, you see how small and compact that shape was? They literally just went whoosh, right back into that back 5. Free kick to Atletico. Simeone in his pre-season attire, not wearing that all-black suit, all-black tie kind of get up. He's in his polo shirts and jogging bottoms. Some substitutions for Manchester United. Man United's double goal scorer today, Bryan Mbeumo, of course, scored from 12 yards. The first, the equaliser. And then there was this good bit of work from Fletcher. Bit of luck there, but you make your own luck. You put yourselves in those positions. And it's entirely what Manchester United deserved as well. Entirely. Man United deserve to be leading this game. They've been the team that's been playing the best stuff. They've been the team that's been playing, really. Let's be honest. Oh, there he is. JJ Gabriel. Remember the name. Remember the name. As he steps into first team action. Here we go. Flex was singing the song. Da-da-da-da. JJ Gabriel. I better not concede from this free kick now. Yeah, ball in. Headed out. And by the way, in all of that, Thwaites has just come on for Andrey Santos, who, it must be said about Andrey Santos, he was brilliant today. Really, really impressed by him. They're just saying on commentary, metronomic, and I agree. Playing it side to side, playing it forward, comfortable, composed, taking some risks with some passes, which I like as well, but looking comfortable. Like I said about the technical ceiling of the team, just raising it. Having players that can get their foot on the ball, pass it, receive it, and the ball doesn't bounce off and go out for a corner or something like that. So, yeah, it looks sharp today. It looked tidy. Interested to see more of him throughout this preseason and into the season as well. Obviously, it's not a Casemiro replacement or anything like that, but it doesn't need to be. He can just be Andrey Santos. Shouldn't need to be Casemiro. He can be himself. As we're about, 7 minutes left. Man United 2-1 up. A rare bit of Atletico Madrid possession here, and United are now very much in our own defensive shape. Ball in, though. Edge of the box. Whoa, I tell you what, the Atletico player was looking for maybe like a bicycle kick or volley or something, and a United player, I'm not sure who it was, came steaming in, got the ball. That a foul? Oh, it's a handball given against Ethan Williams. I thought he got... Yeah, I think he thought he was fouled. Played him behind. He got caught. Edge of the box. They've hit the post. Ooh. Riding their luck. Head that away. Oh, hit the post. Well, there's a couple of things there. There's one which United, we just make a mess of it. I think it's some of the younger guys. You know, they've got a couple of times they could get it away. They turn it into a bit of a mess. Off the bottom of the post. There's nothing anyone could have done about it if it went in. This one, yeah, a mess. I think Aiden Heaven looks towards Harry Amass as if to say, like, you got to give me a shout, because the header, it's in behind. Literally, Aiden Heaven doesn't even know he's there. Comes off the edge of the post again. I think Harry Amass has got to give him a call, or Aiden Heaven's got to be a bit more familiar with his surroundings. But, look, didn't concede. And all of this is good experience for these young players. Playing a senior game of football. Look at the speed. Who is that? Mason Mount manages to come. Mason Mount's still on the pitch. Mason Mount's going to try and do the 90. Mason Mount, he is going to try and prove a message. Good for him. To be honest, he probably needs it, doesn't he? You know what I mean? He needs to probably prove that, like, you know, you've got to start playing regular 90s. Because let's be honest here. No one buys Mason Mount playing 90 minutes of football. When was the last time he did that, regularly? If he can get through 90 minutes in these preseason fixtures, good for him. Like I said earlier on about sort of, people need to buy in and believe, but you've got to show them something. Here comes Amass. Williams. Mason Mount in the middle of the pitch. Harry Amass. Gabriel to Thwaites. I just really hope with JJ Gabriel again, we just got to give him time. I'll never forget when Cheeto came on in that FA Cup game against Fulham, and I say he missed. It wasn't even like a proper chance, but he missed like a half opportunity, if you will. And I remember in the chat at the time, like the sort of vitriol that went towards him immediately. Oh, he's not good enough. He's rubbish. I was like, oh my God. So the same goes with JJ Gabriel. You know what I mean? Give him time. Mason Mount, he's gone for it. He had the number 7 on his back. He tried it. We saw him score one against who was it? Athletic Bilbao. Was it Bilbao? Where he scored that. One for the halfway line in the Europa League. That's got to be a foul. Yeah, foul on Harry Amass. Thank you to everyone that has hit the like button today, by the way. We still got over 1,300 people watching. We are over 700 likes, which is amazing for a solo and stream. Really appreciate everyone that's tuned in, locked in today. Know when it comes to the solo and shows, you know, variety is the spice of life. We'll have Flex will be back on the next match view, and of course throughout the season. Like I said, I'm not gonna spoil anything. I'm not gonna spoil anything. All I'm gonna say is there's some plans. There's some plans. Some nice discussions in place. Oh, Zirkzee, is he gonna make it? Oh, nearly. As we're about 2 and a bit minutes remaining. Exactly, Show. Show says, I've seen enough. Gabriel's ready. Well, to be honest, Show, I'm expecting some more stinging criticism. Maybe Gabriel, why has he not scored a hat-trick yet? Overrated, mid. Something along those lines. Am I doing it properly? A mass. That's got to be a foul, yeah. Clear foul. And Aiden Heaven's done very well again. Aiden Heaven. I mean, to be honest, though, I say he's done well again like that's a surprise. It's not a surprise at all, is it? I mean, Aiden Heaven, his level of consistency when he plays, you kind of, you know, what you see is what you get with Aiden Heaven, isn't it? He doesn't really go that much up and down. I remember when he was playing last year, he came in because he was out in the cold for a while, wasn't he? I don't know if it was the Ruben game he played or it was in December. And he looked a bit shaky, and then he sort of grew into the game. But he just looks more and more composed. United win the ball back again. Hamas passes it all the way back to the Maguire regen. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much football he gets this season because, as we've spoken about a lot, it's not 40 games this year. It's 60 plus. Oh, good turn, Mason Mount. Pass through the lines. Can we make it a third? Can we? Can we? It's JJ Gabriel. Oof. So is Yoro nailing down right back? I don't know, but he's played very well, hasn't he? You know what I mean? He's done really well in these first couple of games. Like I said, I think we have to be a little bit weary about the we don't need to buy a right back now kind of vibe, but it's back again. Oh, but he's done really well, and he actually does look really sort of suited to the position, doesn't he? And like I said, it does kind of make a little bit. It makes a little bit of sense, I suppose, as well, in the sense that he has been playing wide right back for a year. Maybe it would be an easy transition for him to be right back, actually. A minimum of 3 minutes stoppage time. We've got stoppage time. Steffi Jenks says, why is there a translation sign in some of the chat? I think now, you know, like a bit like, well, let this play out, actually. Atleti cuts the ball back off the chest. Cuts it back. Get back in. Get back in. Well done. Edge of the box. Ball in. Blocked. I think the translation thing is a bit like, you know, on Twitter, X now, you just scroll through the timeline and tweets or posts in another language just get automatically translated. I think that's the same with YouTube chat now. Just depending on where you are in the world, you know, whatever's chat there will just be translated to the language you speak, I think. But a couple of minutes left. We are going to have some players like Mason Mount who are going to play the full 90, which, like I said, I think is very much, you know, look, you've got to start playing back-to-back 90s, mate. You haven't been doing that in a while. You know what I mean? You haven't been doing that in a long time. So you got to start proving it if you want to play for Manchester United. I don't know. Imagine that, a requirement for a professional footballer. Play a full 90, mate. Oh, I don't know about that. It's what you're paid to do. Ball in. Oof. Tom Heaton just about claims it. Lenny Oro, he looked tired there. Looked very tired. Look, cut inside, because that's been a criticism of Leny Yoro. You remember that last season when we kept saying, how many times do we concede the cut inside whip goal? We conceded at least 2 or 3 of them, didn't we? And I remember a couple of times we were looking at Leny going, you got to get out to that person quicker. Maybe I'll give the benefit of the doubt here. 92 minutes in your 3rd preseason game. Oh, just over the bar. That was a heck of an effort from the Atletico Madrid player. I'll give Leny the benefit of the doubt there. It's late on. But if you're going to be a right back, you can't be having any of that cut inside stuff. You got to be at your player. As we're about 30 seconds away from Man United picking up their 2nd victory of pre-season. Atletico win the header. Hoof! Look at that from Aiden Heaven. And he wasn't happy with a little bit of afters there with the Atletico attacker. You're right, Daniel Luciano. We are 33 likes away from 800 likes. So if you haven't already clicked that like button. And that is full time. Almost AFCON settings. We ended about 10 seconds early. But no problem. But yes, Manchester United victorious, back-to-back preseason victories. Last week, it was against Rosenborg, a 5-0 win. This week, it's against Atletico Madrid, coming from behind after going 1-0 down after a sloppy goal in the first 5 minutes where ball was whipped in. Goalkeeper stands there thinking, oh, is someone going to get a touch on it? Nobody does. Then it nestles in the bottom corner. Disappointing. But from that moment on, Manchester United were in complete and total control of that game. It is entirely and completely deserved that Manchester United leave that one victorious. They should have. Of course, you're not going to get too carried away. This is not the complete Atletico Madrid side. They're a week behind us when it comes to their preseason training. But it's also not a complete Manchester United side either. We've still got players to come back to. It was a 2-1 result. It could have been way more. We did have a lot of chances. So did they. They hit the post a couple of times as well. But aside from the result, because preseason, the percentage of importance of result versus performance versus fitness is all different from a regular game. What really does excite me is I think we're playing some really good stuff. And I don't feel like it's, like sometimes we'll play good stuff in moments and we kind of try to justify it like it's consistent, but we know really it's just in moments. What we have seen over the last couple of games is a level of consistency. Today, we consistently created those chances, consistently played at a level of intensity, consistently pressed that Atletico Madrid team high up the pitch, won the ball back. Of course, our winning goal is created by winning the ball back high up the pitch and capitalizing on an error. So I'm seeing a level of consistency and play that I think is really, really exciting and encouraging. Again, preseason, we'll see how it goes. As far as individual performances, I think everyone did well. Preseason, it's weird because the experienced names you kind of just expect performances from. So we end up kind of highlighting the maybe less experienced names. But you look at Leny Yoro at right back, continue to play really well at right back, get up and down the pitch. Maybe you would say could kind of learn position a bit more. End product that will come. I think it makes a bit more sense considering he's been playing as a wide right back, transitioning into a full back and building up confidence. I could see that working. I think it's also part of just we don't have many right backs available, senior right backs, and Dallo and Mazraoui, they're away. So I think that's part of it too. But he's done well. Aiden Heavens looks sharp. Maguire's done well. Luke Shaw's done well. Mason Mount completed 90 minutes. Good, because with Mason Mount, the 45, 60 minutes, as much as like for any other player, of course, if any other player does 45 minutes, 60 minutes, we don't bat an eyelid. But for Mason Mount, because of his history of injury, he does have to prove more. And I think it's almost part of his like kind of rehab, if you will, of like, no, you need to get back to playing 90 minutes regularly. You need to get back to being able to put in those back-to-back 90-minute performances. So there's that aspect of it. And then the other side of it as well, it's not even just, he was on the pitch, but he was shit. He was on the pitch and he played really well. A lot went through him. He was everywhere and completed the 90 minutes. So happy for him, but obviously we're going to need to see much more over time from him. Andrey Santos, every single game, I think he's got better. Every single game he's got better. I think this was his best game so far. I think the first game against Wrexham, we barely saw him. Last game, he got a bit more on the ball. Today, much more on the ball, playing between the lines, trying those forward passes. That's what I really like about him too. We had heard those statistics about forward passes. Again, we'll wait and see how much that translates to the actual Premier League season. But what we did see today is his desire to get the ball, open up. You know what I mean? That's what I want to see from a midfielder. I want to see my midfielder receive the ball and then not be afraid to be able to open up and then open up the play, try and switch it, try and get it between the lines, try and give it to someone like Mbeumo, try and give it to one of the wingers. So I thought he impressed well. Shea Lacey wins a penalty, but even before he won the penalty in the second half, first half, he was really unlucky not to get an assist. That one where Yoro does well down the right-hand side. Lacey already knows what he's going to do. Get out of feet, whip it into the box. Probably if Benjamin Šeško's playing, he probably scores that. I think Mbeumo was a bit unlucky with the header, but he wins the penalty in the second half. Both wingers looking like they're creating trouble. Of course, Ahmed winning the ball high up the pitch as well. Dorgu can be a bit clumsy at times, but we forget that he's still raw. He's still really, really raw and energetic, and he does offer you an outlet. Like we struggled with that last season a lot, didn't we? Particularly when Dorgu got injured. Of that left-hand side felt so like inverted, didn't it? Just felt so inverted, and eventually Mateus Cunha had to kind of adapt. Look at the Maguire Trophy lift was proper like. Less of a trophy lift, more of a cheers at a bar. You know what I mean? And Manchester United have won the Snapdragon Cup. Cheers. Cheers for that. Cheers for that. Nice. Yeah, it was better when I won my title. Where is this? Yeah, that was more of a lift of that. That's what it should be. They should walk around with the championship bout. Yes, but Snapdragon Cup winners, you'll never see that. You'll never sing that. Probably not, actually, but considering we're sponsored by them. But in terms of a preseason performance, yes, really happy with that. We are seeing, I think, improvement in quality, intensity. It has no bearing on, I think, transfer plans or lack thereof. We still need players. We still need a third midfielder. We still need to figure out what we're going to do with the left-hand side. We still need a backup striker. None of those things change. And they wouldn't have changed, win, lose, or draw. We still need to do them. But what I do hope, again, time will tell when it comes to the season, and whatnot. But there was a lot of discussion going into preseason, wasn't there, about expectations and what we wanted to see next and what we wanted to see coming out of last season. And we were talking, about evolution, and we want to see Man United play a bit more attacking, play a bit more maybe possession based. Is your third preseason fixture against Atletico Madrid on the 1st of August going to be a sign that you're going to be doing that in October, November? Who knows? But hopefully we try and keep this up, and hopefully we try and keep that style of play while also getting results as well. Yeah. But let's not get too carried away. Let me see if I'm caught up with all the supers. Then we can wrap things up. I think I am. Yes, I am. Big up to everyone that has tuned in. Where do we end up in terms of likes? We are at 853. Right. There is over 1,400 people watching right now. There must be just under 150 people who haven't clicked click the like button right now. So if you haven't already, click the like button for a solo in stream. We'll be back with more content tomorrow. There'll probably be a Flex's View coming up. And then, of course, Monday, we'll be back, Transfer View. As we get closer to the season as well, the shows you love and enjoy will be returning too. Now that everyone's back from the World Cup and holidays and this, that, and the other. So, yes, they'll all be coming soon. And a reminder, you can see it pinned in the chat. I will be live on my channel this evening and tomorrow, but this evening for SummerSlam. WWE SummerSlam is going to be on Netflix live 11 p.m. It's coming from Minneapolis. So I'll be live at 10:45 on my channel. Links in the video description below. Even if you don't enjoy the graps or the wrestling, just come along and hang out. Why not? On a Saturday, I'll be live tonight and tomorrow. I'll be live with a watch along and a post show. So be sure to join me and see if you want to stick around and talk some wrestling. Why not? Anyway, guys, appreciate everyone for tuning in. Manchester United unbeaten in preseason. Hey, Hey, yeah, unbeaten in pre-season. No, not bad, not bad. And hopefully we can keep that up. I'm out of here. Peace.